where you are typically supposed to be the most polite, how you engage with other strangers that you don't know, because you want to be considered as someone who is nice and who is decent, who is pleasant to be around. And I would also argue it's really important to instill the perception of a public life into a child, that your child should be someone that other children want to be around, and therefore other parents and other adults want to protect. This is extremely important. Having this public life should be a priority, and there's nothing wrong with it. You may be different in your other lives, but your public life is extremely important. It may determine how well you fare overall, because if you're a mean and nasty and disrespectful and unruly person, just like a mean and nasty and unruly and disrespectful child, no one is going to want their children to play with that child. Adults are not going to want to protect that child because of how they act in public. The other of the three lives that we all have is a private life. And all of you are entitled to a private life. If you read the U.S. Constitution, you remove some of the mumbo jumbo and the legalese and the jargon. It is a document that above all else secures our right to privacy. People cannot, without major reason or warrant, invade or search your private life. You are entitled to that. Your home, your business, and what happens within those walls of your private property, because again, the Constitution is a privacy document and a private property document. You're allowed to have that life, the life that is out of public view. It's the inner circle. It's your close friends, because some of your friends are only exposed to your public life. It's your family. It's those people who are closest to you. It's your children. It's your spouse. Those people that mean the most to you have access to your private life. And I would say, keep your private life very guarded. Now, here's the other thing that we have to respect about one another. We all have private lives. And your private life, I'm just going to tell this to y'all. Your private life is none of my damn business. My private life is none of your damn business. We're all entitled to that privacy. One of the reasons why the overturning of Roe versus Wade, because it's not necessarily what you think when we talk about the overturning of Roe versus Wade, because really nothing was overturned. It's just that the decisions about a woman's reproductive choices were returned to the states, meaning that states had more independence and autonomy to do what they want when it comes to abortion being legitimate and legal and safe in their states. But ultimately, Roe was a privacy doctrine. A woman can go to a doctor. See, that doctor is allowed into that woman's private life. And what the Constitution did with Roe, when it created it in 1973, it said that women's health care reproductive choices are a part of their private life, which is what the U.S. Constitution is. It is a privacy and private property document. Your body is your private property. Even if, and here's a big if, I need y'all to understand this, especially the conservative folks that still don't quite understand why there's so many pro-life people out there. Even if you make the choice to allow another human being access to your body, however temporary, what happens to your body when you walk away from that involvement with that other person is still your private life. So now we have a situation where the privacy document, the private property document that is the U.S. Constitution, has, in a lot of our opinions, been compromised when they overturned Roe. We all get a private life. We all need to respect each other's private lives. Then there's a third life that we all have. Let's not deny this. We're all adults here, I hope. And I want you to have these three lives. And I want you to live your best version of all three of these lives. The third life that we all have is a secret life. This is a side of your life only known to you. These are your thoughts. These are your dreams. These are your goals. These are the things that you say to yourself that you wouldn't dare share with anybody else. Why? Because it's none of their damn business. Everyone does not get access to every single part of you. Dare I say, if you don't keep certain things about who you are, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your goals, if you just give all of that away to people who you quote unquote think are deserving, you become less of a person. All of us have a secret life. It's only known to you. It can include your private thoughts or your secret actions. Sometimes people are aware of their secret life. Sometimes they're not. You got to be able to delineate between your secret life, your private life, and your public life. Your secret life is stuff you're taking to the grave. Maybe it's stuff you're not proud of. And if people knew about these things in your secret life, you might get in trouble. You might get disowned. You might make the newspaper, or your spouse might leave you. This is the stuff that you take with you forever. You're entitled to that, to the extent you can still live with yourself. But all of these things are extremely important. And so this came from these three lives identified this way: a public life, a private life, and a secret life, communicated by probably the most prolific writer and philosopher ever. He's a Colombian fellow named Gabriel Garcia Marquez. He won a Nobel Peace Prize in 1967 for literature. You know what kind of literature you have to write to get a Nobel Peace Prize for it? Let me just give you one as a point of reference here. The next year, who got the Nobel Peace Prize? Dr. King. So it's a big deal. I think Dr. King got his Nobel in 1968. Was that the year he died? Well, he got one either way. You got to do a bunch of great stuff. And so when I read things about people who are in public and they're sharing their public life with all of us, and sometimes they sacrifice because of what they do for us publicly. But then when you are out in the public every single day, then the public has a set of expectations for you. And what the public tends to forget after a period of time is that each individual, no matter how public they are, they still have and they are still entitled to a private life and a secret life. There's a piece that is in the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel written by a friend of mine, James Cowsey, and maybe the article is honest, maybe it's scathing, maybe it's a rebuke of Frank Nitti. Y'all remember Nitti? Frank Sensabaugh, that's his real name, created a Facebook group that had hundreds of thousands of followers, and this was many, many years ago. It was called The Whole Milwaukee. It was famous and it was infamous. It was raw, it was raunchy, it was wrought with illegal activity, and it was very public. It had better than 200,000 members, I'm assuming, at some point. Facebook shut it down, then it came back again. But because Frank Nitti, or Frank Sensabaugh, was the originator of this group, he was already thrust into the public eye because of the extreme popularity of the group. I suppose if I look at that Facebook group now, with hindsight being 2020, it was the ultimate beacon of free speech. People said everything. They sold everything. It was part solicitation and part open air drug market, part public vendetta, part revenge plot. It was all of those things. It was really a magnifying glass into the underbelly of the city of Milwaukee. And because Frank Sensabaugh, was the proprietor of this group, he was very much the center of attention and had a really large following. And so when Seville Smith was killed August 14th, I believe, 2016, Frank Nitti, who was very known and notable for that Facebook group, The Whole Milwaukee, he was out front. He was talking about the inner feelings of people in the Sherman Park community and really all over the city, how they just felt this huge level of discontent with law enforcement. And then he kind of shifted into more activism because he had so many people's attention, including local media. And then, of course, when George Floyd was murdered May 25, 2020, Frank Nitti really took the lead and led a lot of marches. Now, there were a lot of people that were involved. Tory Lowe, our very own Tory Lowe, who we love very much, he was very involved. Khalil Coleman, who I've known for many, many years, he was very much involved too. But Frank Nitti did take center stage. Nitti is a bit of a controversial figure. And so my context of knowing Nitti, Frank Sensabaugh, is different than most because both of my parents know his father, also named Frank Sensabaugh, because he worked at the post office. So Frank Nitti's dad worked with my parents. Oh, they probably go back 50 years, if not more than that. So the context in which I know Nitti is different. And I was very supportive of what he was doing during the George Floyd marches and protests. And then you know that they walked to Washington, D.C. to raise awareness for the things that were going on in Milwaukee. Because every city, every metro area had protests after the murder of George Floyd. But it was also a way for people who were disenfranchised to have their thoughts and feelings be heard, because we all had this attention on our respective metro areas because of the size of our protests that we had in our cities. And sometimes those protests turned a little violent. Sometimes the police were the instigators. Sometimes it was the protesters. Fires were set. Property was damaged. But you know that comes along with revolution, right? And so I'm going to talk about this article written by James Cowsey, which is probably a response to a video that Frank Nitti, Frank Sensabaugh, posted on Facebook about 3 weeks ago, explaining why he is no longer involved in righteous social causes here in the city of Milwaukee. And I'll be honest with y'all, I don't blame him. And so he goes on his rant, which is very offensive to a lot of people, and he used some profane language. He even talked about a particular sexual reference, but all I saw is him being very, very honest and explaining why he was done with Milwaukee. And I don't think that we should bash Frank Nitti because of his honesty, because he left Milwaukee while a lot of y'all leave Milwaukee, so you can't be mad at him. Some of you want to leave this city right now, but you can't. You're trapped here. And so he said what he said, being very honest about the city of Milwaukee. And then maybe some people are mad at him because he left, because of the crude language, or maybe people felt duped because he was out front leading so many marches and so many protests and walking 30 miles a day through Klan country. And you know, when they were walking, Tory Lowe tell you all about it. They got shot at in Indiana. They were refused access to restrooms. People treated them very, very badly on their righteous walk from Milwaukee to Washington, D.C. to commemorate that March on Washington. I treated very poorly. And I think because people were glued to their screens, their televisions, their social media, where Frank Nitti was broadcasting live from so many different protests all throughout the city, and they were every single day. I'm too old to be out there. That's a young person's game. I do my protests in other ways. But for those young people that were out there in the middle of a damn pandemic, protesting and marching for justice, they get all the respect in the world from me. But I also respect their private lives and their secret lives. Please don't get fooled because someone gives you their public life for a better cause, for a righteous cause, to try and improve things. Don't forget that those individuals who we see every single day who are giving so much of themselves still are entitled to a private life and a secret life. So I'm going to take a break, come back, and talk about this article that James Cowsey wrote. I'm not really sure how I feel about the article. It seems like it was kind of offensive. It was kind of scathing. It was kind of condescending, which it should not have been. Because if someone who gives their public life to all of us for a better cause, we don't have the right, really, to attack these people for the other lives that they live. Because guess what? We live other lives too. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on the new 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. All your favorite interviews and best moments live in one place.
You know, I'm working in the morning, and I was listening back on the Truth app.
Download the new 101.7 The Truth app now. Milwaukee, black, Talk 1017 The Truth. Never miss a moment of The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on the new 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming on Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcast, and Apple Podcast.
Your first night camping alone. The new tent, fully set up. Your bug spray, barely keeping up. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free overdraft protection transfers. So when you bought all those supplies and lost track of your spending, we had you covered. You got this with free overdraft protection transfers from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Melanie Ricks with her truth.
What's good, Truth fam? It's Melanie Ricks here from Nothing But the Truth. And I really do have a very simple question to ask all of y'all today, which is, what brings you peace? What brings you happy? And what brings you joy? So yeah, that's kind of a 3-in-1, but really the questions are all one and the same. I think it is so important to remind yourself what it is that makes you happy, and whatever it is, do it. As far as we all know, we only get one life to live, so why not live it to your absolute potential? You are so important, you are so valuable, and you matter so much to this world. But it's so hard for you to live and be your full, true, authentic self if you aren't happy, if you aren't doing those things that make you happy, that get you excited to get out of bed every day, and that make you want to go and conquer the world. So whether that's trying new things, putting yourself in a different environment, surrounding yourself with the right people, or even just taking some time to be alone, whatever it is that makes you happy, brings you peace, and brings about that feeling of gratitude and that reminder of just how precious not only life is, but how precious you are and how much you matter to this world. I think it is so important to fill this world with love and joy and positivity. And there's so much negativity that we see on a daily basis. Why not be the source of somebody's happy? Why not be the source of this world's goodness? All right, that's enough listening to me. Go make yourself happy. Love y'all.
Listen to Nothing But the Truth with Melanie Ricks, weekdays from noon to 1 p.m. More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Babies into running around, hanging with the crowd, putting your business in the street, talking out loud, saying you bought us this and that. How much you
So
done
James
paid?
Cowsey,
I swear she must believe
he pens this article in Journal Sentinel and talks about the comments that Frank Sensabaugh made on his Facebook page. He's in Atlanta now, apparently living his best life, making good money. He's away from Milwaukee. So here's the thing about Milwaukee. You can spend all of your time, your effort, your energy, more importantly, your mental health. And I think the people's attitudes about Milwaukee and wanting to help Milwaukee become better is now put into focus because people would just burn themselves out here. But since we have put much more of an intense focus on our mental health, people are like, yo, I'm not killing myself for this city. I'm not going to drive myself into depression to help folks in this city. We really are an uncounseled city in need of help. We are. Some people realize that. Some people don't. Some people are just running around still traumatized and very much unhealed, and they're doing tremendous, like unspeakable, untold damage to this city. And for regular folks that want to keep their mental health prioritized, they don't stick around and hang out with the trauma, because then the trauma is infectious And it'll kill you. This city will kill you. Not really sure how I feel about some of my friends and family members. They leave Milwaukee. They do live better lives because it's like a defense mechanism. It's an attitude. It's this shield you have to wear. It's this armor that you wear when you are in this city because you always have to have your head on a swivel and you always got to be aware and you always have to have expectations of violence and homicides and vehicular homicides. In the last 48 hours, 6 kids have been killed in traffic accidents. And I don't have words for that. I don't even know what to do about that. I don't even know what to say. I don't know how to conceptualize it. I have no solutions for it other than draconian ones. And so when you're here, you got to be prepared for all of that. And when you leave and when you go somewhere else and when you find greener pastures, let me be clear, anywhere else you go, including Atlanta, Georgia, where Frank Sensabaugh is currently, there's going to be problems there too. But you can be a little bit more disconnected from the social ills of another city. Because in Milwaukee, we all know each other. If you're of a certain age, and your parents came to Milwaukee by way of Arkansas, Tennessee, or Mississippi, we all know each other. So when tragedy strikes, we know the person. It's personal for us. But you go to another city and people die all the time. Like, oh, that's too bad. Let me flip to the next page of the newspaper and see what's going on tonight in the entertainment section. And this place will burn you out. And hats off to the people who have dedicated so much of themselves to making this city better, but I also respect the fact that they may want to have a private life, which you can't have. If you're an activist in this city, I mean, first of all, you have a shelf life. Either you'll get burnt out or you'll have your reputation defamed some kind of way, which I really don't think is fair. But I'm also the kind of person that can look at a person for their art, and activism is an art, and look at them for their output. If their output was worthy and if it helped people, I can see human beings as separate entities, right? Michael Jackson, he may have done some bad stuff, but man, the Thriller album is great. And so I don't diminish some body of work that somebody put together because I later find out that they did some awful things in their secret life. First of all, I'm not even really supposed to know about their secret life. All I'm really supposed to know when it comes to a stranger is just their public life. I don't need to delve deep into somebody's past. We got to be real careful with that because some of y'all are dastardly. We just don't know about it. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with not knowing some of your private life activities and some of your secret life thoughts. I don't need to know. But as long as you are decent and honest and treat people with respect publicly and there is integrity in your public work, I'll give you those other 2 lives. And we need to do a much better job of that. Knowing that we dance to R. Kelly's music, now all of a sudden he's persona non grata. Oh, he did some terrible things. For that, he will be punished. But you can't take away, because the music that we listen to as an example, because music evokes so much emotion in people, you can't change the way someone's art made you feel. And is the music that you like or the movies that you watch or the shows that you're addicted to, is it contingent upon the individuals who are providing that entertainment, who are acting on those shows and in those movies? Is it conditional on them being perfect human beings without sin? Of course not. I think a lot of y'all have things that you've done that you're not very proud of. Hell, we all have things that we aren't very proud of. You know what else? I respect people who have regrets and can admit that they have things that they regret. I don't like people say, I don't have no regrets. Yes, you do. You're just trying to tell yourself that you quote unquote learned something. No, you can learn something from horrible things that you've done, horrible things that you've said, really bad ways that you've treated people, and you've learned something from it, and you can be a better person in doing some of those terrible things. But you should regret it, especially when you get older and you know better and you do better. You should have regrets. I got a ton. There's a whole bunch of stuff. It's some days. Now, I don't let it consume me, but there have been a couple of days in my life where I should have just stayed in bed. I just shouldn't have. I should have just let that day pass. Instead, I went out there and did some things I probably should not have. I mean, it builds character, but to say you don't have any regrets is like to not be human. From James Cowsey, the life of a community activist is not glamorous. They work long hours for little money. They must be agitators as well as comforters to those who suffer loss. They organize marches and protests, work with troubled youth, and are always on call. It is a thankless job. They do what they do because they are driven to do so, and if it wasn't for the work they do, our city would be in a much worse situation, said Tyrone Dumas, one of my mentors. He's also a longtime public official who has worked with youth for much of his career. Activists have a servant's mentality, Cowsey says in the article. The best strive not to be selfish. Instead, they believe in selflessness, but what happens when one renounces the community he professed to serve? Frank Sensabaugh, who goes by Frank Nitty, recently went on a social media rant, saying crime was up in Milwaukee because he no longer lives here, and added a graphic sexual reference, something James Cowsey says he's never heard from a community activist, especially one who said during the height of the Black Lives Matter movement that if we were all in the fight together, things would improve. So, James, you just don't know any activists. They all have private and secret lives, even the ones that we put on pedestals. So because you, James, and I'm not bashing you, James, but I am going to be critical of your article. That is what folks like me do. We editorialize your editorials. You shouldn't be shocked by what Nitty said. I mean, it was crude, but it was also honest. What Nitty did, I didn't watch the whole 36-minute rant, but I watched enough of it. I got the gist of it. All Nitty did was articulate the crab in a barrel mentality. And when we say crabs in a barrel in Milwaukee, that's just us being polite. That's us saving our public face when we say crabs in a barrel. These people in this city will chew you up. You ain't got to ask me. Ask Tory Lowe from 1 to 4. The people that you are sacrificing your life, your time, your money to help will chew you up. And I'd imagine over years that's got to wear on you because you know the sacrifices that you make when you're trying to help folks. Everybody else doesn't see the sacrifices that you make. It might be time away from your family. It's lost money. It's the destruction of your reputation, because if you help a certain type of black folk or poor folk or working class folk or LGBTQ folk in this city, you're going to suffer. Corporate Milwaukee is not always going to reward you. And activist people know that. They're sacrificing, quite honestly, and mortgaging their futures on helping people who, listen, can we be honest? Most of which are ungrateful. Now, is it arrogance of Nitty to say that crime is going up because he's no longer involved? Yes, it is. Could he have gotten to the bottom of a lot of these disputes involving the youth and the youth that look up to him and respect him more than they respect elders in the community? A hell of a lot more than they respect me, and even more than they respect their parents? Yes. But to know Nitty is to know that he's arrogant. Extremely. But to do what he does, you can't have any shortage of ego, because your ego will get deflated a little bit more and 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 a little bit more every single day, because you will be out there in the streets. Sometimes you don't get any sleep, and you're out there and you're working hard. You're trying to save this young man. You're trying to help his mother. You're trying to help his family. And then guess what happens? They both get killed in a homicide the next day. You got to have a lot of ego to be able to keep going after that. I don't even think a lot of y'all know what that's like. To put all of your time, your effort, and your faith into someone, try to help them, and they either get killed or they kill somebody else. I'm going to take a break, come back, continue talking about this article that appears in the Journal Sentinel. I think you can see it with a free account. I don't believe the article by James Cowsey is behind a paywall, so if you have it, you should check it out. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hi, I'm Natalie Shepard.
And I'm Jessup Reisbeck from the CBS 58 News at 10.
We hear it all the time from viewers. Television news is too negative.
That's why we're trying something different at CBS 58. In our newscasts, we focus on what's important to Southeast Wisconsin, and that's not necessarily crime.
We want you to know the great things happening in our hometowns as well.
What's going to help solve problems here and uplift our viewers?
We are your hometown station, and that's the type of news we're going to bring to you.
Join us every night at 10 on the CBS 58 News.
They are our cuddlers and coworkers, purr machines and love bugs, and constant companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life so much better. When we face unexpected challenges in life, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people who love their pets and the pets who love their people, ensuring these families stay exactly where they belong, together. And you have something to offer. With an open heart and mind, there is nothing you can't do. There's no gesture too small or too big when it comes to helping. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. You can help keep pets and people together. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
We put our lives on the line for our country. We braved the unknown. We did what we were told. And we lit up. Our cigarette packs were as valuable as the packs on our back. Maybe more. At one point, cigarettes were part of our daily ration. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. And boy, we were smoking 'em. Bumming a smoke was the norm. It was an escape from the reality of dirt, sweat, and forgetting how many days you were so far from home. Never had to worry so long as you had a light, and the smoking lamp was lit. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now. Surviving lung cancer starts with a scan. Learn more at screenyourlungs.org. And thank you for your service. This PSA was made possible by industry funding and guidance from lung cancer patient groups.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Bob Brainerd. The Brewers need to pick themselves up off the mat tonight after suffering an 18-1 blowout loss in St. Louis last night. Don't look now, but the Redbirds may have steered the ship back on course. They've won 4 straight, 6.5 games behind front-running Milwaukee in the NL Central. Tonight it's Wade Miley against Jordan Montgomery on the Hill. You can hear it all on our sister station, 620 WTMJ, beginning with the pregame programming at 6:10. Game 1 for all the marbles in the West pits the Nuggets and Lakers in the NBA Western Conference Finals tonight in Denver. Boston and Miami kickstart the Eastern Conference marble grabbing tomorrow night in Beantown. This sports update presented by Associated Bank, proudly supporting our hometown teams. Member FDIC.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I know that I'm taking a lot of risk by some of you are interpreting my words as defending Frank Nitti. I mean, he did some stuff, let's be clear. He did some things that are less than desirable, but also respect that man has a secret life and a private life. And we may not like the things he does in his secret life and his private life, but that does not take away from the leadership he exhibited when, let me be clear? Let me be clear. Milwaukee had none. None. Zero leadership. Somebody had to step up. Now, was it someone whose connection to the whole Milwaukee Facebook group, is that a little bit undesirable? Yep. But I think that shows that's a leadership vacuum in the city. Like, there's no next generation that. So I blame my generation. We screwed up. We got selfish. We were mentored. We were sat down. We were scolded. We were directed. We were given a whole bunch of information that it took our elders an entire lifetime to learn about Milwaukee. Like, I don't know if y'all know the systems that are deep embedded within the institutions of Milwaukee, the social institutions that keep it this segregated. You got to wonder why this community, the greater Milwaukee area, is just so racist still. There are bedrock institutions that exist here to make sure certain parts of Milwaukee and certain opportunities stay Irish, they stay Polish, they stay German, they stay Jewish, they stay Latino. And it took our elders, my generation's elders in this city, their entire lives to be able to figure out and decipher those bedrock institutions. And so they told us all about them. You got to keep in mind, they were finding this stuff out and sharing it with one another personally and privately. This is back before the damn internet. And so what our generation didn't do is we did not sit down with these younger folks and explain to them where the bodies were buried and the opposition that they would be facing if they ever decided to use their public life to improve the community. There are forces that are very well dug in, they're institutional, and they're very wealthy that just don't want to see black progress. They just don't want to see it. It makes them nervous. It makes it uncomfortable. And I actually have a story here that goes back into some of the early days of Milwaukee and how some of the buildings and some of the streets got their names. Oh, you're going to love this article. You're going to love it. And I think that, you know, the founding fathers of this town, this state, even this country, it's embarrassing what they did to create their legacies. And I don't think that they want black people to expose some of those legacies, right? Because we have no choice as black people but to be honest about our circumstances, because we can't deceive anybody. If you're black, everybody knows it, and they can treat you accordingly. So we get judged no matter what. So we have to walk in a light of honesty because our skin color keeps us honest to an extent. Like, I can't say that I'm not a black man. And all of the different stereotypes that go along with it, I wear them, and I wear them very publicly every single day. If I get pulled over by a cop and the cop's intention is to pull over a black person in a neighborhood that police officer thinks that black person shouldn't be in, I can't get pulled over, roll down my window and say, "Hi, officer, I'm actually white. You made a terrible mistake in racially profiling me." So I have to live honestly about who I am and how the world sees me, right? I think white folks get to hide because you don't know who's a friend or who's a foe. You don't know who hates black people. You don't know who doesn't hire black people. You also don't know who was out there fighting and protesting with us. You can't tell with the white folks. They're very deceptive. And so a part of their deception is they want to keep certain histories secret. That's why they don't want to teach critical race theory. I heard a new one. It was so diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so what those who are against it, named it division, exclusion, and indoctrination. They just don't want to have anything to do with us. They don't want to include us. And so when we expose the true histories of those people and how they even became prominent, I mean, that's why they want to hang on to power. Because we'll come to find out that their power was built on lies and deception and murder and trickery and thievery. However, I digress. I'm going to get to that story later about the history of Milwaukee and why certain streets are named, certain schools are named after certain people. These are not all noble people. In fact, some of them are bastards. But, you know, we still put those street names into our GPS when we want to go out on the weekends. His comments sent shockwaves to those still in the fight. Normally, this wouldn't be something that I, James Kowsey, would write about, but this required a response because it appears sensible, or Frank Nitti, either let his ego get the best of him or he's just so frustrated with the lack of change that he decided to do who have supported him, and disheartening to hear someone who moved from my hometown bashing it. Oh, James, everybody that leaves Milwaukee bashes it. It's worthy of bashing. That's the thing. We can't have such Stockholm syndrome over Milwaukee that we get offended when somebody else goes somewhere else and then is honest about our city. I mean, that comes with the territory. And I felt it. You know, when I went on assignment, can I be honest with y'all? I wasn't on assignment. I was on vacation. Oh, sorry. And I was in another city, in another state, in another part of the country, and I could relax. I wasn't reading in the paper or watching the news about who got killed by a reckless driver. I wasn't listening to politicians making a bunch of promises they weren't going to keep. I could just rest. It made me not want to come back here. And my first week back in Milwaukee after my assignment, I got a little depressed. I'm like, damn, this place is terrible. It is. Now, there's some good things about it, but here's the thing. My friends are here. My family is here. I got my education here. I'm very well invested here. I own a home here. So obviously I can't hate it that much. But that is why I have my attachments to this place, because I'm here. And for the foreseeable future, I'm going to be here. But that doesn't mean if I decide to go find greener pastures somewhere else, that I'm not going to be honest about my experience in Milwaukee. And some of that honesty that I may exhibit about my experiences in Milwaukee is going to sound like bashing to someone that wants to leave and can't. I ain't done with this article yet. I'm going to take another pause. And y'all got some text messages that are rolling through as well. Can't wait to read some of those. Some of those I'm responding to by texting you back. I may not read them. But if you want to give your thoughts about the situation at hand, Frank Nitti, who now lives in Atlanta, said he's living his best life. He was, recording a Facebook Live video bashing Milwaukee, or maybe he was being honest about this city. He said he makes a 6-figure salary. He was eating shrimp and lobster. He also was somewhat intoxicated, but I don't judge. And then James Cowsey writes an article, an editorial of sorts, being negative toward Frank Sensabaugh, Frank Nitti, because of his honesty about the city of Milwaukee. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, just press play. Your favorite award-winning 1017 The Truth shows are now streaming live on video. Watch us live on 1017 The Truth's Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and of course, 1017thetruth.com. Just press play for the home of Milwaukee Black Talk, 1017 The Truth.
This is 1017 The Truth's Sherwin Hughes, and I am Milwaukee. This show has meant so much to me because it's an opportunity for me to express my thoughts and my feelings to my community, and for my community to express those same thoughts and feelings right back to me. Milwaukee means a lot to me. I was born here, raised here, educated here, and I'm committed to making this a better city. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the new 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
This is Melanie Ricks from Nothing But the Truth. If you love to be both entertained and informed, make sure you listen to The Truth all day, every day by downloading the Truth app or streaming on Spotify, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Stitcher. 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk.
Are you looking for an opportunity to better the Milwaukee community? Do you want to develop your skills for a career or job? City Year Milwaukee is recruiting for its 14th cohort of AmeriCorps members. We are hiring young adults ages 18 to 25 to serve our amazing scholars in Milwaukee Public Schools. This opportunity allows you to serve your community and gain professional development, which will allow you to enter the workforce, your next educational journey, or even stay with us for a second year of service. Visit cityyear.org to connect with our local recruiters and learn how to apply.
Who are we? We are the ones who learn to do what we love. We're the ones who want to work, who want to learn from firsthand experience, to earn an income, who don't need to spend 4 years in lecture halls. We're the healthcare, construction and utility workers, manufacturers, agriculturists, and service and IT professionals. We are Wisconsin Apprentices. Learn more at wisconsinapprenticeship.org. Brought to you by the Department of Workforce Development.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer. Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning. The cap is loose on that catch-up.
Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
There's even people leaving comments on our YouTube video channel. 1017 The Truth on YouTube. We're actually on Twitter. Y'all don't use Twitter. I've tried to get y'all to follow me on Twitter. Like 5 of you do. And we also are broadcasting live video from in the studio, which I was very much against in the beginning. I'm still not exactly a fan of it because radio is more theater of the mind. And when you can watch me on camera, it's different. I got to watch my mannerisms. And sometimes I say things that if you read lips, you might determine that those things are obscene. I wish him the best, but the fight doesn't stop because one soldier drops out. It means more of us need to do our part to help those in need, says James Cowsey. The best way to help those still in the fight is to support them. If you can't support them financially, considering becoming a volunteer, we all can do more in our community. On April 28th, Sensabaugh posted a 36-minute Facebook video from a club in Atlanta saying crime was up in Milwaukee because he was no longer here. He starts out addressing rumors of his death. He also said social media ruined his life and that many local activists have sold out. Quote, I had to get away from y'all to remember who I was, he said. I'm not an activist. I'm not in activist mode anymore. I'm back to Frank Nitti. There's a lot to unpack from his sometimes profane and factually incorrect rant. And then James goes into this. I hate when y'all do this. I hate it. You got to stop because it's irrelevant. Don't give me statistics about crime going down if my cousin was just murdered. So what are you going to do? Oh, I know that your cousin was just murdered, but overall, crime is down 18%. Stop it. That's irrelevant. That's disconnected speak. If my car just got stolen, you can't tell me the cars being stolen are down 34%, because 100% of somebody's car just got stolen. James says, his words, not mine. First, overall crime is down 18% in Milwaukee compared to last year, including a reduction in car thefts by 34%. Rhea, just so you know, you've had your car stolen once, right? Twice. FYI, car thefts are down. Just so you know, for your own edification. No, don't flick me off. That's James Cowsey telling you that your car didn't really get stolen twice because car thefts are down. While there is no doubt many community activists are trusted messengers in the community, and they have been responsible for helping police and families solve crimes, it's a collaborative effort that goes into this equation. But, I listened to some of Nitty's video, not all of it, because I need to see all of it. But he's right. There are people that absolutely sold out. There was a fella, he's still around, David Muhammad. He was with the Nation of Islam for a while. And then the Nation of Islam here locally, they don't like me because, whatever. Long story. I'll tell it later. Maybe. Well, I said some things on air because I defended my audience. This is when I was at WNOV many years ago. My audience is black Christians. The Muslims go out to the 20th anniversary of the March on Washington in 2015, and they came back and told black Christians they were stupid for celebrating Christmas, and then tried to tell me that I should stop promoting Christmas, so I'm not going to do that. My audience is Christian. And some of the black kids in our community, the only time they get family, food, fellowship, and presents is Christmas. I'm not going to tell our people that Christmas is a pagan holiday. Christmas is a commercial holiday anyway. So they got mad at me, the Nation of Islam did, because they wanted me to promote their message when they came back from the March 20th anniversary of the Million Man March in 2015. And so they sent David Muhammad to WNOV to threaten me. When I came off the air, he was waiting for me in the lobby, and he threatened me. Then he gets a job working for the Office of Violence Prevention after he came to my workplace and threatened me with violence. So I get the hypocrisy and why somebody like Nitty wanted to move away. The truth was Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
Tune in to the award-winning 1017 The Truth this Saturday at 10 o'clock for another episode of Diversity and Excellence powered by Erie Insurance, hosted by me, Dr. Ken Harris, and Fred Johnson, Vice President and Wisconsin State Manager for Erie Insurance. We will discuss the agency of being an insurance agent. Tune in this Saturday. Diversity and Excellence powered by Erie Insurance, 10 a.m. right here on the new 1017 The Truth.
It's 1017 The Truth, Sherwin Hughes, and I'm excited about our Truth Financial Empowerment Partnership with Northwestern Mutual. They're a national leader in financial services, and every month I'll be speaking with a representative from Northwestern Mutual about investing, building generational wealth, and how to best reach financial freedom. So tune into The Truth with me, Sherwin Hughes, on Friday, May 19th at 11 a.m. as I speak with Northwestern Mutual advisors Erica Wright and J.B. Bell, who will give a breakdown on the first steps that you need to take toward investing in your financial future.
We need each other, now more than ever. Because every someone needs someone else.
We need each other, because when we work together, we can do so much more.
When we work together, we connect more children with what they need to grow up healthy, educated, and safe. And that's what Child Fund is all about.
Together, we co-create, support, and sustain connections that lead to greater well-being for millions of children facing poverty.
Which also benefits their families, their communities, their countries, and you.
Because when you make someone's world better, you make everyone's world better.
Child Fund. Because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 24 countries to achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
I noticed that my central vision started to blur.
Figures that are usually straight started to distort and become wavy.
What are these little dark spots with blurring that I'm seeing?
There's a blind spot like a blob over my vision now.
Is my vision lost forever?
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist in a timely manner have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Don't delay seeing a retina specialist. It's worth the visit to save your vision so you don't miss out on life's precious moments, like seeing your grandchild grow up, enjoying a sunset with that special someone, or reading a good book. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Associated Bank. Your money works here. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I also know that I'm old now, and I don't want to sound like old people, and I'm starting to sound like old people. I occasionally may look out my window through my parted blinds and tell the kids to get off my lawn. Maybe I'll do that. Getting old. And so this is what old people do. And I vowed a couple of things in my youth. To not be old and grumpy. I failed at that. And the other one is I never wanted to be the old dude in the nightclub. I used to hate that. Like, I'd be in my 20s and it'd be a dude who's like in his 50s just in the club, just scoping out young girls. So that I've successfully avoided that. But I also don't want to be nostalgic about my youth and talk about all the things that we had and all the things that we did and just say, oh, well, the kids nowadays just need more of what we had. No, they don't. Time passes you by. And I accept that. You know, I think I had my time in the sun. Now I'm just an old grumpy dude with a microphone. But what I can't be so arrogant, and I can't have such an overly inflated ego to think that, well, to solve the problems of today, all you need to do, see, back in 1984, see, the cops would give us baseball cards and we'd put them in the spokes of our bicycles and it'd make that clicking sound, you see. That's all we need to do if we just go back to having basketball leagues and if we just go back to doing all the things, going to the YMCA, you see. No, the world is different. The internet changed everything. My childhood and what we used to do has been wiped out by social media. These kids can't relate to us. I was an actual adult. I was a college student when the internet became a thing. And even then, only a few people had it. You had to go to the library or you had to, I don't even know if high schools had the internet in 1994. You had to be on a college campus or you had to go to a library. And not even all libraries were connected yet. And there are some children, and not even children, adults, this 30-year-old people who grew up with the internet being a part of their everyday life. And so I recognize that what I think is a solution probably isn't one, because all I'm going to do is refer to back when, you know, things were happening in my day. This is how we dealt with it. We also had a major war on black men. We also were locking folks up and throwing away the key. We also were building prisons as fast as we could get the materials and the construction workers. So if I really want to wax nostalgic, I'll just say build more jails. That's what we did back in my day, you see. No, the social structure of this country was different. The family structure of this country was different. So I can't say, oh, back in my day we didn't have these problems because we did this, that, and the other. Let's talk to Miss Rose. You're on the new 101.7 The Truth.
Oh, good morning, Sherwin. You're always so interesting, but you know, you did a beautiful thing when you did a part of what you know. The media is the key to what's happening of how our cities in our country look, and you did a beautiful thing when you protected the downtown of the city of Milwaukee, like being safe since people had a negative viewpoint. But the thing is, Milwaukee is still a wonderful place, but if you would do the same thing to the rest of the city, in other words, the city of Milwaukee, there are small pockets all over in every city in our country. And these pockets exist in every city that show negative situations. But if the media, of which you are a part of, continues to present the negative without allowing the correct relationship to the total populace in the city of the percentage by percentage. So this is a good take up, for instance. We have over 500,000 people in the city of Milwaukee. And by the negative expression of people and expressed by the media, I can bet you that there's less than 0.1% of the population is involved in the negative. So if that same type of information that you did for downtown was done for the different pockets in the city of Milwaukee, it would get rid of that. This is the worst city. It's only the worst city because people have put it in their imagination that it is the worst city. It's no worse than any other city, even though it could some places yes, some places no. But if it's pushed that way, it will become a thing that everybody's going to accept.
Ms. Rose, do you think that it's just
change
made up that Milwaukee has been rated as the absolute worst place in the nation to raise a black child? Do you think that that's just make-believe? You think that there's not data, fact, and statistics behind that?
I didn't say make-believe. Okay. I said put it in the right perspective.
That is the
And
perspective.
that's what's wrong.
No, that's the perspective.
No, it isn't. It's an individual's perspective from the fact that they are looking at it from a point of view.
If you
of
look
not the
at
percentage of the-
educational attainment, high school degrees, college admissions, careers,
That's in every
income,
city.
health
That's in every
disparities.
city. That's in every city. That's in every city.
You're correct. It is in every city, but here it's worse. It's in every city. You're right, but
How
this
is
is
it
the
worse?
worst one.
What is the percentage? What is the percentage of other cities?
I don't know.
Have you
We're the
checked into
worst.
that?
How's that for a percent? 100%, 100%, 0%.
Because I don't
We're
accept-
100%.
I don't,
There's
I don't
0%.
accept hand-me-downs. I don't accept hand-me-downs because
I'm
people
not going
say
to
it
argue with you.
and whom they are.
And look, I get it.
And that's
People
what's
don't
wrong with our
like
society.
people don't like the
You're
negative
told what to
stuff.
do,
But
and
if
if you
there's
do, and instead
15,000
of doing-
cars stolen in the city of Milwaukee, what I'm supposed to do? Talk about the cars that weren't stolen? If a child gets
Yes.
murdered because they get
Yes.
hit by a car,
Yes.
what am I supposed
Yes.
to do?
Because
Pretend that
that's
didn't happen? Oh, I'm sorry. Miss Rose got disconnected. What happened? Did she, oh, you know what? Sometimes these cell phones, I have an obligation to be honest. And that's, if this is the worst, let's assume that it is. It's the worst city for black children. Do you think that we get to the bottom of that problem and start improving our status and our standing by ignoring it? Nope. It's I'll answer the damn phone. Hello.
Yeah, my phone was disconnected. I don't know if he was through or if he just wanted to stop. This is Miss Rose.
Oh, okay. I don't even know what happened. You know what it is? I think the government did it.
Yes, I do too.
Yeah,
and I'm going to tell you
because
why.
you know the government, when we be on here speaking the truth on the truth, the government get mad and they disconnect the calls.
Yes, I know, because I had a hard time getting in. I had to go to another part of my phone to get in. I had to go to contacts and get off the log, because every time I pushed the number to get into your station, it brought in one of these sham things.
Oh, that's the government.
That's how I know. Pardon?
That's the government. Miss Rose,
Yes,
you know
I know.
what? You should get a talk show. Because if like folks like
You know
yourself
what?
that criticize the content that we deliver, I would like to see you do this 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. I'd love to see it. I'd listen to your
I'll tell
show
you
every
something.
day. Because if I don't know how
One
to do
time,
it, or if I don't do it the way you want me
You
to do
know
it,
what?
come on, come get you the show. Hey, you know what? You want to fill in
Let
for
tell you
me?
something. One time I was on the radio with Mary Bryant. It was called Beneath the Glass Ceiling Mentality. And I could, my time base has only allowed me 5 minutes because I am also a busy person. I have other
5
things that have
minutes.
priority.
You got,
So,
listen,
yes,
you
and
ain't
I-
that busy
I
no
presented
more. You got
information.
plenty of time to call in and mess
Yes,
with me.
No, I'm very busy.
Oh, I bet.
I'm busy suing the
You
city.
got time now.
On behalf of the city.
Oh, Lord.
Pardon?
What you suing the state for, Miss Rose?
For Department of Neighborhood Services for why the houses are going to the city and why people are losing their houses.
So you
And it's
actually have an
because
attorney.
The way
You got a lawyer. You actually filed suit, so we
what
can go
I
and
have
search
is
this.
nobody's business. I know how to handle my business. I'm busy.
Well, if
period.
you're suing the city or suing the state, like that's public. So share it with us.
Well, we'll check it out when it's ready to. When I'm ready to let you, so nobody, because the government has ways of been following me and doing everything to divert me and to mess with me. So I give very little information until I get the situation solved.
All right.
Now, I had a hard time getting you because they kept messing with my phone. Every time I put in the number, they put into sham. I had to go to a different part of my phone. I'm not very technology when it comes to these stupid cell phones. I just got it for communication only. I don't want all the other junk because I know what they can do and what they can't do. So it's not because I don't want to. I can only do one project at a time. And I give my full to that project. When that project's done, then I go to the next one. But there's a whole heap. You want to make a change in the city, you got to get involved. But people don't get involved because they don't know how to get involved. And they're told to stay away from me because they know I solve things and I do things and I'll bring up and make changes. And changes are being made already. Underneath, some of them are made because They want to make sure they're not caught with their pants down. So don't tell me I have time. You don't know what I'm involved in.
I'm just saying you got time right now. Here, tell you what, Miss Rose, get here at 8:55 tomorrow. You're going to fill in for me. 3 hours. We got commercial breaks.
I've got a full schedule this whole week.
What you doing tomorrow?
Because I've got another brief. I got a brief to write.
Can you share the brief with us? Can you share it with us briefly?
No.
Why?
No.
I want to see the brief.
You want to see my past briefs? Look it up.
How? You're not on the internet.
I don't give out personal information to allow people to distort.
So how am I going to look up your briefs, Miss Rose? Where are the briefs at?
Because your knowledge, you know how to do it, so don't hand me bull crap.
Hey, language. Don't want to put you on trial like Al now. Where can I read your briefs?
That is not a bad word.
Where are your briefs at?
Pardon?
Where can I read your briefs?
You know about law at all?
Yes.
Okay.
What does it have to do with me reading your briefs?
Okay, I'll tell you what. You know about the Court of Appeals?
And why are we yelling?
Okay.
There you go.
Because you know about when people appeal from the city about something that they're being charged with and things like that.
Yes.
And you know the city of Milwaukee has been screwing up, and the people of these appeals things are nothing but farces.
Are these appeals that you've lost, Miss Rose?
No, I've won some and lost some.
Can you tell us about a single appeal that you've won? Because I really got to take a break, so I need you to give the listeners some useful. Well, then I got to go. If it's already won and settled, then just tell us about a victory.
Because it can cause problems in the future, and I got to protect myself.
So you have a court victory that's obviously public, but if you share that with the public, it'll cause problems in the future.
At this point of time, yes.
Can you tell us what it was about, like a little bit of information about it, without getting into any detail?
Okay. When the Department of Neighborhood Services stole something off my porch, so they deducted part of the cost factor.
What the hell did the Department of Neighborhood Services steal off your porch?
You asked. Now, don't go any further. If you asked and I told you, then that means you want things that I'm not willing to share any further. I gave it to you. If you don't understand it, then we talk in private. I do not talk this in public. Okay?
Thank you. All right, that's that. Listen to me. I tried with her, y'all. The Department of Neighborhood Services stole something off her porch. And she went to the Court of Appeals. And what did she get it back? What was it? What is one of them garden gnomes? What did they steal? A planter? She has some begonias? Why do I... See, y'all out there listening, you don't know what this is like. You don't know what it's like to deal with y'all. Woosah. Woosah. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I don't know. Maybe I'll be back. Maybe I'll go back on assignment. I don't know. Stay tuned.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune into the new 1017 The Truth's Business Spotlight this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. between the Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. I will be joined by Ashley Lucas, VP and Business Lending Product Manager at Associated Bank. Ashley and I will discuss how your business can leverage unique and creative promotional deals into large monetary gains and a bigger customer base. So again, tune into the Business Spotlight with Associated Bank this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. right here on the new 1017 The Truth.
This week on Wheel of Fortune.
How you doing?
Oh, jolly wally, Pat.
Well, ain't that hunky-dory?
There's a lot to be happy about.
You plan to win a lot of money here tonight?
Oh, my God. I'm supposed to be here.
Don't forget the $10,000 shopping spree giveaways.
You're going to do this,
I
aren't you?
am going for it.
And if things spin their way...
Be nice to me, Will.
You can win at home, too.
All right, Pat, let's go.
Well, you're happy, aren't you?
Oh, yes.
We'll keep the happiness going.
Let the good times roll.
Wheel of Fortune, weeknights at 6:30 on CBS 58.
Hi, I'm Natalie Shepard.
And I'm Jessup Ricebeck from the CBS 58 News at 10.
We hear it all the time from viewers. Television news is too negative.
That's why we're trying something different at CBS 58. In our newscasts, we focus on what's important to Southeast Wisconsin, and that's not necessarily crime.
We want you to know the great things happening in our hometowns as well.
What's going to help solve problems here and uplift our viewers.
We are your hometown station, and that's the type of news we're going to bring to you.
Join us every night at 10 on the CBS 58 News.
Adrian was seriously injured when a careless driver merged into her lane.
Gruber was there for everything that I needed. Any questions that I had, Gruber was there. They made me feel like everything about my situation and my accident was very important to them, and that made me feel good. And I would definitely call Gruber again for that.
Serving Wisconsin for over 35 years, Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They go above and beyond for their clients.
All Brewers games are on sale now, including a Memorial Day weekend showdown with the Giants, Thursday, May 25th through Sunday, the 28th. Start the long weekend right at Aloha Friday on the 26th and get a Brewers Hawaiian shirt with a special ticket package. Then take home a Christian Yelich patriotic jersey giveaway on Saturday, the 27th, presented by Chevrolet. Get your seats at Brewers.com.
Dear hero, whoever you are, you save lives. I live with sickle cell and the pain and the issues that come along with sickle cell every day. I'm most grateful that people are willing to go out there and take their time, their blood, and give me new life. Because of you, I'm allowed to see my son grow up.
Giving equals living. Give blood. Replenish the supply. Learn more at hhs.gov/giveblood. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Moon must be full. Somebody give me a lunar calendar. Hold on, let me see. Let me take a look. Let me see. Lunar calendar. Calendar. Let me see. Moon phases. Because you know the moon has an effect on you. You know the term, because luna is like Latin or Greek or something for moon, the lunar cycles. So it has so the lunar cycles are every 28 days. So are women's menstruation cycles. That's not a coincidence, but you know, the moon also has a gravitational pull and impacts our tides, high tide and low tide, because it has an impact on water. So we as human beings are mostly water. So we have to be impacted as well by the gravitational pull of the moon that makes the tides go up and down. And they really don't go up and down. It's just water bulges on one side of the earth, and then it bulges on one side, then it's low on the other side of the earth, and then when it's high on one side of the earth, it gets low on the other side. So it just kind of bulges. If you see like a 3D representation of what the moon does to our oceans, it's spectacular. It's really nice. But you know the term lunatic comes from the moon making y'all crazy. And so the whole thing with werewolves is that there's no such thing as a werewolf. It's just when the moon is full, y'all turn crazy. And that's why they mythologically created the werewolf, because they noticed a long time ago when the moon is full, y'all are at your craziest. Let me just check and see. Okay, what's today? May 16th. So we're in the third quarter moon. And then there's a new moon on May 19th. I don't know what that means for y'all's behavior, but let's see how Bob is feeling today. Bob, you okay?
Yeah, Sherwin, yes, I'm okay. You have to understand, it makes sense what you're saying, and it's hard to say what you say, what you just said. Now, to give you a quick example, there's an area in Chicago. I love Chicago, just like you love Milwaukee. And there's an area that my friends was telling me when I was coming up. Hey, you go to work every day. You take care of your family, man. We need you to represent us or help this neighborhood or whatever. And I just didn't say nothing because I knew what I was going to do. And that's what worries me, because you sound like you might move. But anyway, you know, I don't want you to move. We ain't got no voice. We don't have any voice.
Yes, you
like
do,
yours.
Bob. You got plenty voices. You got my friends over at WNOV. You got Tori Lowe from 1 to 4. You got Nothing But the Truth with Melanie Ricks. You got Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. And you have the morning show with Telly and whoever joins him. So we got plenty of stuff, plenty of shows, man.
You know you're unique, and we need a fast thinking and a fast talking young man like yourself. But anyway, I come back to that Chicago area to visit recently, and then it's worse now than it was when my man told me to hang in there, man, live here. So I'm worried about you leaving because, man, we don't have yours. You know you're unique, man. And I wonder how you get up in bed. Sometimes you don't want to say nothing to nobody because you do it for a living. And I think, my goodness, he handles it. But, so, that's, and my last point, instead of saying your producer, I kind of know her name now. I'm getting used to it, Rhea. Did she point her middle finger at you? Like Carrie would do? I mean, how you said it.
Oh, of course she does.
She reminds me of Carrie a little bit, but she's very quiet, more quiet than
I know
Carrie.
she's very quiet, ain't she? Hey, Rhea. Hey. Yep, now I got 2 middle fingers. That's right. She just put both of her middle fingers up. That's funny.
Well, you gotta let me play my sax for her at your studio. And my last,
nice try.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now I'm gonna say this and I get off now.
I know you're gonna get off.
Okay. He gonna park in the street. He's gonna have everybody looking at. Quit being so dramatic. We're not doing the movies. It's nothing. But going in, quit being dramatic. And I will let you go on that note.
Did Bob just say I was being dramatic? Bob just called me a drama queen? The one-armed bandit who left his vehicle parked in an intersection on MLK and Wisconsin Avenue had to have a whole cast of people help him get into the studio, set up his saxophone, and I'm dramatic? You know what? Yeah, come on, Bob. Yeah, come on. Because now we got cameras in here now. See, the last time I had to narrate that, I can't even use the right word because it's got profanity in it, that ordeal of setting Bob up to play his saxophone. Oh, now y'all get to watch it on video. Yeah, come on, Bob. Come on, bring the saxophone. I want everybody to see this. See, when you come back, Bob, I ain't got to narrate it. People will see it for what it is. You old one-armed bandit? 414-788 said, Bob is powered up today. Oh. LT said, are you taking your woman to Lizzo tonight? Hell no. My woman got good taste in music. Oh, I know you over there having a fit, Rhea. You don't want me to give my actual comments on Lizzo because you ain't going to like them. It's not that I hate her. It's just she doesn't understand. Now, here's the thing. Please don't get me on this Lizzo stuff because this is the kind of stuff that will get me canceled. And if I'm going to get canceled, it ain't going to be for Lizzo's ass. She's inspirational for women. No question about it. A particular subsection of women, she has anthems for them and she gives them pride and self-esteem and makes them feel empowered. For that, she is applauded. She's also won some stuff, some Grammys and stuff. Good, very good. She also cites Beyonce as one of her influences. In fact, Lizzo gave a speech and said she wants to make people feel the way Beyonce made her feel. I think that's wonderful. But then there's another part of Lizzo which she knows but doesn't care. I don't think that she is being celebrated like some of y'all think she is being celebrated. She's obese. And look, when we call her obese, then I'm being offensive and I'm body shaming her. Do you know what kills black people? Obesity. They look at Lizzo like, I ain't going to eat healthier. I'm not going to reduce my sodium. I'm not going to get any exercise because Lizzo is doing it. I think that when you promote certain images of black people in the media, you are marching us off of a cliff because we die from the preventable diseases that are spurred on by obesity, and they see her and she's promoted and she's paraded around, then more of us are going to die. That's just what comes along with the territory. Here's the other thing. Women who are in shape, who work out, who are fit, who eat healthy, will always give accolades to a woman like Lizzo, because as wealthy as Lizzo is, she's not competitive with a woman who is 5'7" and 120 pounds and has excellent cardiovascular fitness. In fact, women are so sinister with how they bully, they will couch it in perceived love, affection, and support. Oh, it's the most evil thing I've ever seen. Oh, women can be the worst bullies ever because we don't call it violence when women are emotionally and verbally abusive. Do you know how many little girls have killed themselves because of how they get talked about by other girls? That to me is violence, but we don't see it as such. Oh, I can go on about that stuff forever, but to answer your question, LT, no, I'm not going to take my girlfriend to go see Lizzo. In fact, even if I told my girlfriend I got Lizzo tickets, she'd be like, nah, you can go ahead and sell them. Sir Chauncey says, hey, Sherwin, don't get beat up by Miss Rose. Like, oh my, bruh, that's a feisty woman, right? Miss Rose went at me. Bob is fired up. Like, what is it? Miss Rose is like 84 years old. Okay? Bob is, how old is you, Bob? 70, 71? Does no one my age or younger call this show? Or maybe y'all just text. The old folks home is coming after me today. Shout out to the old folks home. But like, where are the people that are under 50? Rodney says, I glanced through that book years ago, How the Streets Got Their Names. If you're going through it, you'll see why the city is still so segregated. Milwaukee used to be two cities, Juneau Village and Kilbourne Town. Center Street was the border. You'll see it with the size of the houses going east to west. Yes, but the kind of segregation that we see is more north-south racial and socioeconomic class. I'm going to get to that. The city, a really weird history about the city of Milwaukee, but I also have this other segment I'd like to do, and I really got to do it today because I know I talk about stuff I want to discuss. I never get to it. Black people like Cadillacs. I had a Cadillac. My mother had two. My friends growing up, my black friends, parents had Buicks. Buick Riviera was a popular one. Also, Cadillacs. It symbolized an opulent kind of luxury, and it still does. In fact, we used to use this saying, if something was like top of the line and top notch, we'd say, oh, that's the Cadillac of microphones. Like this microphone that I'm talking into right now is a very high quality microphone. Oh, that's the Cadillac of microphones, or oh, that's the Cadillac of dishwashers, or the Cadillac of ovens, et cetera, et cetera. It was associated with prestige. So I was curious, how did that come to be that black folks have this affinity for Cadillac? It's probably less so now. I think younger black folks have affinities for different cars, but I don't even know if the Chrysler 300 was more of this generation. Professional folks were buying Chrysler 300, which is no coincidence because there's a black designer and they had a really heavy campaign marketing the Chrysler 300 to African Americans. But the Cadillac, I was very interested how the Cadillac became so synonymous with black success and black opulence, et cetera, et cetera. So that is what that segment is going to be about if I ever can get to it. So right now I'm going to take a break, try and recombobulate myself some kind of way, and we'll continue on with the show. I'm also going to read some of your text messages that are coming in at 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Your first date? Going well. The carnival? Cash only. But you've got this, just like Associated Bank's got you, with access to over 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs. So when you decide to win that giant stuffed purple raccoon at $5 a throw, we're looking out for you, no matter how many throws it takes. You've got this, with 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Nicole, and I lost my 10-year-old daughter, Teresa, to COVID in just a few short days. Teresa was a healthy child who loved to dance. When Teresa got sick, I didn't think it was serious until she was rushed to the hospital. COVID and flu can be serious for anyone, but they're especially dangerous for communities of color. Please get your COVID and flu vaccines and stay up to date on all immunizations, because vaccines save lives.
To learn how to protect your family, visit vaccinateyourfamily.org/learn.
It's time to see what's poppin' with Melanie Ricks.
What's up, everybody? It's Melanie Ricks, and it's time to see what's poppin' with today's Pop Culture Report. If you're a sports fan, there's no doubt you heard about this. Ja Morant has been suspended after a second video showing him with a gun. So the Memphis Grizzlies, they have suspended Ja Morant from all team activities after a video showing the star guard holding a gun began circulating on social media Saturday night. The Grizzlies announced the suspension, which is pending a league review, in a statement on Sunday, 2 months after the NBA suspended Morant over a similar incident. If you're wondering what exactly the video was, basically on Saturday, there was an Instagram live session on one of Ja Morant's friends' account. Well, during the video, they're riding in a car, having fun, doing what guys do, and all of a sudden, Ja starts flashing his gun. Now, I will say the friend did move away from Ja fairly quickly, but my thing is, for one, this is your second offense. Ja, why do you even have that gun on you? And if you do have it on you, if you have a conceal and carry, that's all fine and well. Keep it in your pocket. Keep it concealed. And then I'm looking at the friend sideways because the whole world knows what happened with Ja in that first incident. So I know dang well that the homies know too. For me, it's giving, you need to watch the company you keep. Did the friend know that he had the gun on him and purposely flash the camera that way? Did he not know? I mean, he did turn it off him very quickly. Like, I'm talking, it was like a split second that you saw this gun. Do y'all think that this is just indicative of who Ja Morant is as a person? Is it that his frontal lobe hasn't fully formed yet and he doesn't really understand the ramifications of his decisions? I don't know. But you know what they say, third strike and you're out. But this is basketball, so maybe he'll get more than 3 strikes. I hope he doesn't even need to get to the third strike. Only time will tell, but we'll find out next what NBA Commissioner Adam Silver has to say about it, and I'll make sure I keep y'all posted. And that's what's poppin'.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Her phone number is 833-212-1017, 833-212. Push her buttons, too. Sometimes she pushes mine. I've been arguing with Miss Rose for a decade. Seriously, for 10 years. Been arguing with her. Jean says, Miss Rose was feisty today. Sherwin Hughes, why are you messing with her now? You're having too much fun with Miss Rose. 414403 says, for a segment idea, I should invite Mr. Cowsey on the show to discuss the Frank Sensabaugh piece. I'm not, because tomorrow it'll be old news. That's the first thing. And next, so there's a part of the article that I didn't read because I don't like when folks do this. This is what white folks do to us. If an African-American man is accused of something and he's arrested and he's not charged or convicted, don't print it. That's what the white folks do. Oh, he was arrested, but they didn't prosecute. Then don't print it. They do that to defame our reputations. Do you know that I can accuse anyone of anything? You can accuse anyone of anything. And if there's a scant bit of evidence, of circumstantial evidence or anything, somebody can be arrested. Do you know that sometimes people get arrested as a part of a revenge plot? You can make something up about somebody and the cops can hold you for 72 hours. And then there's a clause where they can hold you for another 48 and you didn't do anything, but it can be reported like you actually did the crime. Black journalists should know better. We don't do that. If you disagree with somebody fundamentally, you don't like how they do things, you don't like the comments that you said, you keep your disagreements to the comments, to the thing that they did that you don't like, and you got to explain yourself. You don't get to bring up other stuff to try and defame somebody's reputation. Black folks shouldn't do that to one another, and that's the kind of thing I get tired of. We take our cues from the white folks on how to hurt one another. I didn't like that part of the article at all. And James has his reasons, and James probably going to be mad at me because I'm talking about his article. James, you're welcome. You got somebody talking about your article, and a whole bunch of people are going to read it, and the Journal Sentinel might keep you around a little bit longer before they offer you the buyout. Let's see what else we got here. 414627 says, you say we failed a generation of kids with the mentoring. We can't fail a generation of children in which the parents of those children do not discipline or teach respect or any values. No, you're right. That's true. Because what happens is people make choices. Sometimes the choices are good, sometimes they're bad. But what mentoring is, what it's admitting, is a lack of fathers. So we want, here's what's crazy. We want other men who are probably fathers and who probably had fathers to father other fatherless children so that those fatherless children don't kill fathers. That's what we want. We want surrogate fathers. And so there's an amount of time you can spend with a young man where you can show him and illustrate to him alternatives to his lifestyle and show him that there's a better way. And if you just work hard and follow the rules and don't listen to your friends and don't be like members of your family, like you can be better and you can rise above your circumstances. And I like to think that the success rate is very, very high. But here's what you're competing with. You're competing with the neighborhood that kid goes back to when you drop him off after your day of one-on-one time with your mentee. I noticed something when I was working at South Division High School administering their after-school programs. A lot of the kids would go back to Puerto Rico for the summer. So they'd speak English when they were at South Division High School, and their classes were taught in English. There was some bilingual instruction, but most of the kids spoke English, and they were taught in English at South Division High School. This is 22 years ago when I worked there. And then they would go home for the summer, and they would come back, and their English would be terrible because they spoke Spanish all summer. So you can instruct children in English all year. And like school year is what, 9 months, 8 months out of the year? They go back to Puerto Rico for the summer. They come back and they damn near forgot all their English. You can mentor a child. I don't know how many days a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week, whatever it is. It's usually not that much. And you can show them a bunch of positive influences those couple of hours, those few days a week. But the streets is going to be more of an influence. Or you know really where the negative influences are? It's at home. What we see played out in the city of Milwaukee is a toxicity that exists in the home that then just kind of plays out in front of everybody's eyes. 414627 also says, remember when you used to leave the house and your mother and father would remind you not to embarrass them when you went outside? Do you think it's the same these days? Nope. Let me tell you why. Because some of these parents are the damn embarrassment. I'm just trying to think. Let's say I got into an argument at school, not with another student, with one of my teachers. Okay, let's imagine this. 1988, I'm in 8th grade, right? Get into an argument with Mr. Henninger. And he was somebody I certainly could have gotten into an argument with because I didn't really care for Mr. Henninger. Mr. Henninger didn't care for me. Shout out to you, Mr. Henninger, if you're still alive, but I might as well be honest now, almost 40 years later, 35 years later. I didn't really care for you all that much. So let's say I would have gotten into an argument with Mr. Henninger. And let's say it was his fault while we were arguing. He was disrespectful to me. I can't imagine calling my mother or my father, calling Eugene and Emma from the payphone that we had at Brown Deer Middle School. So, Mama, Daddy, Mr. Henninger messing with me. Can y'all come up here and whoop his ass? And then having my parents say, we're on our way. Because that's what these kids do now. They will call their parents or the mother and have the mother come and fight the kids that they have the disagreement with, or have the mamas fight the teachers. So we ain't got to worry about the kids being the embarrassment when they leave the house, because a lot of times it's the parents. Have y'all ever seen an angry parent cussing out a teacher, especially like a little suburban 3rd or 4th year white public school teacher who grew up in Oak Creek, grew up in Franklin, went to UW-Madison to get her teaching degree, and then comes and teaches at an MPS school? It looks like if we went to war with Canada. It's just an annihilation. It's very sad. Very sad. Let's talk to Sandra. You're on the new 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
I am fine today. How are you doing?
I think I'm doing okay.
Yes, I'm listening to your conversation, and it's really deep. I'm sitting up here saying my eyes are popping out because this city is the worst city in the world. I read it where it says the worst city to raise your black kids or your children, I guess, period. That's what they meant, I guess. But I'm sitting up here thinking now, like I say, I'm an older lady. I'm 74, and I watched how the city was in the beginning where we had things, they had things in the schools. We had the community singing, and we had all this stuff in the schools. Girls' glee, shop and cooking and all this stuff. And all of a sudden, everything started phasing out. Now what you see around here is kids shooting dice and all that. And this, to me, this is systemic, because don't tell me that the police don't see these kids shoot dice and hanging off houses like clothes on the clothespins. And I'm like Miss Rose, I get so sick of them cutting down this city. And a lot of them, they got here, they got educated, they got their degrees, they moved out. There's nothing good to say about Milwaukee anymore. And it makes me so angry at systemically the way they did this city. The city was not like this before. And on top of that, there's no money. We can't invest no money, but downtown they can. They moved the homeless from downtown. They knew how to do that. But kids can sit on the corners and play dice and supposedly shoot up. And like you said, they are letting them die. I can send you some pictures. I got the pictures. And nobody
pictures
can
of what?
tell me.
What do you have pictures of?
Them letting them die.
Who is them?
Remember your introduction? The police, the medics and stuff. They watch them. They sit there and look at them.
That's not nice.
Oh, well, it's true. It is what it is, because they need something to pick on, and they have to pick on blacks. They have to pick on the least of these to make us be criminal. And to me, they're saying that even though some of us have did well, they're saying that we're criminals, and then right away people are scared of us, scared to come down here to the central city. I just heard a person say the other day, they call Serenity a ghetto funeral home.
Which one?
Oh, they don't do nothing but Serenity.
Where's that one?
Home on Fond du Lac and Townsend.
Okay, I'm unfamiliar with that one.
And so, Yeah, it's right there. It's a little service station over there, and across the street from the service station is Serenity, and it's it's cheap. Put it that way. It's a cheaper funeral home.
Yeah, but how do they treat the bodies though, too, Sandra? Sometimes these little Rudy Poo funeral homes don't prepare bodies very well.
Right. Well, you call it cheap, but then again, think about it. If you're dead, why are you going to invest all the money into death? Take that money and give it to your relatives so they can succeed. Because we always say we need to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps, and we need to get our own businesses. And on top of that, when she said that, I'm sitting up here saying, well, why don't you call the schools a ghetto? They shot up at the schools.
Well,
I said, why don't you call the malls a ghetto? They shot up at the malls. Well, no, don't make it all black. That's what I'm saying. Don't make it all black because, hey, it just angry. I just get fired up. I'm going to tell you. I get fired up.
Everybody fired up today.
Here. Yeah, I lived here. I watched the whole thing. I watched them gut the, parks out, put the expressway there. I just watched them do some stuff. I wasn't conscious of what they were doing, and I think that's the problem. Our kids are not conscious. We're not grabbing them and getting them into politics. They need to know our government. They need to know who owns the government. Look, the Republicans kind of run this town. That's why you don't see none. And then the Democrats in bed with them because all of them, they get a big paycheck off the city. So, that's my say. I just... we got to read and we got to be more into all the whole situation. Like I said, we got to come up and fight. You just can't sit on the sidelines and say prayers and pray all the time. We just got to get up off our butts. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm waiting for us to get off our butts and get all fired up.
And make some money and and do like the Spanish. They stick together. These Indians, I don't know what the race really is. They stick together. They let their people work for them. I see it. I have them over here. Other people say they don't want to come over here because they're scared. Okay.
Thank you, Sandra, for your insights.
Okay, bye.
All right, then, Sandra. All right. Got a bunch of stuff going on here. Who is this? Two Black says, so he left Milwaukee because they was out to get him for how he took advantage of those already struggling in the community. He gave false hope. Talking about Nitty. I think somebody else texted in talking about he stole money from people or whatever. So I'm unaware of that. But I know this much. If you decide to send somebody money because you like whatever they're doing, then you don't get to decide where they spend the money. And some people may not have liked how Nitty was spending some of his donations. I also know that he, to some extent, there was some controversy with this because that's where you divide the Black community. Just add money. When people found out that Nitty was getting money, and then there was a rumor about how much money he was actually getting via his Venmo or his Cash App, whatever, then people got jealous because they all wanted to get paid, or there were promises of money, meaning that some of the people that marched to D.C. did it because they thought they were going to get paid. And so the whole thing was wrought with corruption, and then they blamed Nitty for everything. I think what he did at the time is he stepped up in a leadership vacuum when we needed somebody. Now, ultimately, was he the right person? No. Do we have the right person? Still no. But I just don't like the article that was written about him because he did what a lot of us would do if we moved away from the city of Milwaukee. Because I feel like I'm honest about the city because I'm still here and I'm committed and I'm invested. But when I leave, because my life would be a failure if I died here. Come on, y'all. I can't die here. I've gave Milwaukee my best years. It's okay for Sherwin to want to live his happy life somewhere else. In fact, I've been looking at Summerlin. It's a little community outside of Vegas. I'm just saying, I don't know. But I don't fault people when they leave Milwaukee and they tell us about the city. Like, we just get mad and territorial over a city that we don't even own. We don't even control it. But then when somebody else moves away and pursues opportunities that doesn't even exist for Black folks here, we get mad at them. All right, I'm going to take a break, come back, talk to Ms. Shack. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's 1017 The Truth, Sherwin Hughes, and I'm excited about our Truth Financial Empowerment Partnership with Northwestern Mutual. They're a national leader in financial services, and every month I'll be speaking with a representative from Northwestern Mutual about investing, building generational wealth, and how to best reach financial freedom. So tune into The Truth with me, Sherwin Hughes, on Friday, May 19th at 11 a.m. as I speak with Northwestern Mutual advisors Erica Wright and J.B. Bell, who will give a breakdown on the first steps that you need to take toward investing in your financial future.
This is your Financial Empowerment Minute on the new 1017 The Truth, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
So if folks don't have budgets, first and foremost, would you all recommend that they put together a B word?
Well, you know what? I think I got another B word. Uh-oh,
is yours the other B word? What B word is yours?
So here's my deal. I don't think most people have a budgeting problem. I think most people have a behavioral problem.
Oh.
Okay? So the budget is no good if you're not going to make a commitment to follow through on what you're doing. And I think that's really the key. You got to have enough courage to sit down, go through all your expenses, but then you do need to kind of have that real conversation and hold yourself to the fire to actually commit to doing the action. When me and Erica merged years ago, she has a budget, right, where it actually annualizes how much money you're spending for the year on that said thing. So if you were to put in, say, $100 a month for your coffee, whatever it may be, on her budget, you're going to see it actually being $1,200 for the year.
Tune into The Truth every month for our financial empowerment interviews with Northwestern Mutual.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Are you looking for an opportunity to better the Milwaukee community? Do you want to develop your skills for a career or job? City Year Milwaukee is recruiting for its 14th cohort of AmeriCorps members. We are hiring young adults ages 18 to 25 to serve our amazing scholars in Milwaukee Public Schools. This opportunity allows you to serve your community and gain professional development, which will allow you to enter the workforce, your next educational journey, or even stay with us for a second year of service. Visit cityyear.org to connect with our local recruiters and learn how to apply.
On Thursday, May 18th, join Sharp Literacy for the 8th annual Unwrapped Milwaukee fundraising event from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at The Gauge. Unwrapped is an evening of community, creativity, and food, where top area chefs will create gourmet appetizer, entree, and dessert bites using McDonald's ingredients. The fundraiser will support Sharp's STEAM-based educational program, serving thousands of urban elementary students in 50 Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Racine schools. For tickets, visit sharpliteracy.org.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Miss Shack, you're on the new 1017 The Truth.
Good morning, Sherwin, Truth Nation. You know, Sherwin, when I called the last time I called, I was kind of in my attorney mode because my neighbor had mowed his lawn past. Don't you hate when somebody mow your lawn and then not only do they mow it lower than what you normally mow it at. So I had to go down outside after 22 years and still, snap on him about.
Oh, wait, Miss Shack. He cut his grass lower than yours, and you got mad at him for that?
No, he cut across the line onto my side.
Okay.
Where my property ends and his start. He always go over into mine.
Put a damn fence up. Put a fence up, Miss Shack. Get a fence.
Yeah, I did. I got one of those little cheap wire things and put it there. Lord have mercy, I didn't put it up this time because, we didn't get no sunshine until now. And then, I just like it. So, I was in my, I was in my argument.
Was you going to sue him? Because he cut your grass? What was you going to do?
No, I'm just real, Anyway, I'm a Virgo.
You need to smoke some more weed, Miss Shack.
Anyway,
you must need to re-up.
Or I just need to get a really good,
No. A good what? A good what?
I need a dose of vitamin D. a real good dose of vitamin D, strong vitamin D that,
What the hell is wrong with you
all
today?
the
What is wrong
hit
with
all
you?
the walls and bring all the sugar out the walls. Anyway, I'm good. How are you? I'm transporting.
You talking to people in public? What is wrong with you?
Anyway, yeah, I'm angry too. I can't. If you ain't angry, black in America, you ain't black for real. Because huh? No. Because oh yeah, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one, huh?
Let me tell you something, Ms. Shaq. You need to call us back when you can give us and my precious audience undivided attention, because now I only got 40 seconds, so I got to take my break.
Oh, man. But, yeah, I wanted to talk about, I'm going to call back because I wanted to talk about how I got to know Frank Nitty and follow him because I was, I met him first and because that's all I saw. And he had that, Rastafari look. And, I think that it gives the impression you know what's up with the black community and you down with them and stuff. So, I was interested. And I even have a colleague who still believe in him, follow him, and another person who don't follow him, but sent him $100 when he was out there, on that journey.
Well, we got to leave it there because I got to take a break. So call back and keep your comments clean, though, yo pervert. I need a strong dose of vitamin D. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 3.
Tune in to Truth in the Afternoon with me, Dr. Ken Harris. We will honor our law enforcement heroes all week long during National Law Enforcement Week. All this week, I'll speak with Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman, Milwaukee County Sheriff Dr. Danita Ball, and retired officers to discuss the challenges and the changes they face, the sacrifices they make, and the impact they'll have on our community. Tune in, Truth in the Afternoon, all week long. Powerful conversations, Law Enforcement Week on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Here at the new 101.7 The Truth, we count on the support of community partners. One of those local partners is Associated Bank. Together, we are committed to uplifting local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee home and promise to be a positive reflection on the community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 101.7 The Truth, founded in partnership with Associated Bank, member FDIC.
We need each other, now more than ever. Because every someone needs someone else.
We need each other, because when we work together, we can do so much more.
When we work together, we connect more children with what they need to grow up healthy, educated, and safe. And that's what Child Fund is all about.
Together, we co-create, support, and sustain connections that lead to greater well-being for millions of children facing poverty.
Which also benefits their families, their communities, their countries, and you.
Because when you make someone's world better, you make everyone's world better.
Child Fund. Because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 24 countries to achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org.
You are listening to the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations. 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 101.7 The Truth News Update.
Hi, everyone. I'm Melanie Ricks with your news update. An 11-year-old Milwaukee boy was ejected from a stolen car after the driver crashed into a City of Milwaukee building over the weekend. According to Milwaukee police, the crash occurred near 14th and Galena on Saturday around 2:45 p.m. The driver of the car was swerving back and forth before losing control of the car and colliding into a building. The driver fled the scene on foot. The passenger, an 11-year-old boy, was ejected. He was transported to a local hospital for serious injuries. Police say the vehicle was stolen and they are seeking the unknown driver. Anyone with any information is asked to contact Milwaukee Police at 414-935-7360. To remain anonymous, you can contact Crime Stoppers at 414-224-TIPS. You can also use the P3 Tips app. A new entertainment act is coming to the Wisconsin State Fair. Cirque at the Fair is a new free show featuring a cast of aerial artists, acrobatic experts, an exciting fast-paced juggler, and more. According to the news release, the production will take place in a new custom-built big top tent located on the south end of the Fair Park. Cirque at the Fair will have multiple shows each day and is free with a state fair admission. For those wanting a more up-close experience, VIP ringside seats are available for $10 per person and can be purchased online in advance or during the state fair outside the big top tent. The state fair will take place between August 3rd and August 13th. The United States Postal Service is increasing its security measures to protect all mail carriers and prevent theft after a rise in robberies across the nation, including here in Milwaukee. The Postal Service says that it is installing 12,000 new blue collection boxes that are harder to break into. They are also replacing nearly 50,000 arrow keys with electronic locks. Milwaukee police recently busted a crime ring where Milwaukee men were allegedly robbing mail carriers at gunpoint for their arrow keys. These keys provide access to collection boxes and mailboxes. These changes are happening in high security risk areas throughout the country. However, USPS says that they cannot confirm if Milwaukee is included for safety reasons. This was the news update on 1017 The Truth. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes continues next here on the new 1017 The Truth.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I just found out the Diggable Planets are going to be at Summerfest on June 29th. It's a Thursday, but they're playing at the small venue acoustic stage. I would have all y'all meet me there, but I can't have y'all get there before me and the venue fills up. Damn it, I shouldn't have said anything. Never mind. Diggable Planets ain't going to be at Summerfest Day. I wonder if I can get an interview with them. We'll figure that out later. All right. Go ahead, Miss Shaq. Finish your little comments and keep it clean, you old pervert.
I did not. It was clean.
You said you need a dose of vitamin D to make all the sugar come down from the walls. And you ain't talking about vitamin D, the hormone. You ain't talking about the vitamin D from sunshine.
I'm talking vitamin D, period. Vitamin D is good for you. But you know what? I did want to talk about, the Frank Nitty thing and the fact that, in Milwaukee, in the city, the state, it's a get out state. That's what it's turning into. And that's what the message is. I mean, the Republicans is taking everything from us. And, the black leaders don't see the fight, in that. So it's like they letting us know to get out. And I agree with you. We have to really come to a real decision, maybe hard decision, to leave Milwaukee in order to have a prosperous, happy life. But yeah, this was on the George Floyd time, and I was, looking for what we gonna do, and I hadn't heard of a Tory Lowe, and I saw Nitty and my colleagues, like I said, and friends were supporting him, rallying up, thought he was going to be the it, like we always do with black leaders that get out in front and say, and preach our cause. We think that, you're going to be it. And I don't know about, if it's true, what it is. Because I know that, Oprah, I believe, sent some money. And, but anyway, I'm
Oprah?
really angry.
Who Oprah sent money to?
Really, yeah. Huh?
Oprah sent money to Nitty?
Oh, Frank, no, she sent 50 mil to BLM, and then George Clooney sent 50 mil to BLM. Okay, but then get that clarification. But yeah, I'm just angry and I'm sad and I'm depressed, and then this retrograde is bringing all of that out. I think it's because we're looking at real time here. We're intelligent people. This is nothing that, people sugarcoating. We're looking at our black leaders and we're seeing them fail us. And we put our money.
Ms. Shaq, I want you to say more about that. I want you to tell me how black folks are failing other grown black folks that have free will, free association, and free choice. I want you to tell me how a black person is supposed to tell another black person what to do, because that's what leadership is. We have to be willing to listen. We don't listen, so I want to know how they failing us.
I hear you, and I respect your assessment because I really invest a lot of faith in you, but that's narrowing it down. But before I go there, Sharon, I want to say this too. These little traffic decoys they putting on every corner. Lord Jesus, it's driving me crazy. Every block got these cement humps. They're trying to regulate traffic, and Lord have mercy.
No, that's leadership, because we identify reckless driving as a problem, and y'all don't want to slow down when you driving. You driving in the parking lane. So to me, that's leadership, because we got more of those in our community than they got anywhere else. So there's your leadership.
But then you got a big old truck in front of you that's got a trailer attached to him, and you can't go around him like, respectful, and because you just got to wait. And Lord Jesus, that just drives me crazy right now. But anyway, I just see it being a fiasco. But yeah, going back to that question, I have to keep it general because I don't know the specific particulars when it applies to individuals, but collectively, I just feel that for the most part, and as speaking for myself, when I invest my time, money, energy, love, faith in a leader that says that they're down with what concerns me, the general issues that oppresses us economically, academically, intellectually. I'm thinking that this person is going to take our cause to the next level, but yet it doesn't even get to the next level because of they have self-intentions. It's not really, when it comes down to it, it's really not for the collective of the black people. It's really a self thing, a self-fulfilling prophecy or something. I don't know, but I'm really upset. I'm really disappointed. I'm really depressed because I don't see any more Malcolms. I don't see any more MLKs. I don't see any dedication, loyalty, or authenticity.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I can echo some of your sentiments, but we're not going to have, we got to stop thinking we're going to get another Malcolm. We ain't going to get another Martin, and we shouldn't want another one because they're too easy to kill. Leadership is not individual people. It's how a mother raises her children. It's how a father stays dedicated to his family. It is our hard work. It is our dedication to a goal bigger than ourselves. That's where the leadership is. And when the leadership is decentralized like that, all it does is it exposes our failures.
And like NAACP and the Black Caucus, I think they have failed us too.
The NAACP had a time in which the gains for African Americans were much more monumental. It was fair housing. It was voting rights. It was all those things that we take for granted right now. So those organizations had a period of time in which they operated to get us basic fundamental rights. Now we have the basic fundamental rights, and hell, we don't know how to use them, or we don't take advantage of them. So no, those organizations that existed for basic fundamental rights have basically outlived their usefulness. Like any other nonprofit organization, you should be working to put yourself out of business. Now black folks within reason can live wherever they want. We have unfettered access to the ballot box, and that's some of the stuff that they were fighting for. And now that we got it, we don't need them anymore. We don't need them to fight for voting rights anymore.
I hear you. It comes down to your individual value and where you want to go with life. You're right.
Well, thank you, Ms.
I'll
Shaq.
leave it there, Shaq. Thank you.
Appreciate
Bye-bye.
your call. Bye-bye, Ms. Shaq. Well, and the other thing is, like, I don't bash people for leaving Milwaukee. And when they leave, I don't care what they say. Like, is our self-esteem that low that we get so hurt when somebody moves away and is honest about the city, honest about their perspective? They got freedom of speech. They can say whatever the hell they want about the city. But here's what I think it is. The people in this town who've committed themselves, right? Even though they're not doing anything to better the city, but, you know, they're here and they think that just by being here, they're committed to the city. We shame those who leave. Some of it is jealousy because y'all wish that you could leave too. A lot of people want to leave. They're planning their exodus right now. They just ain't got the money to do so. Or we think it's a sign of weakness if they don't put up with the abuse of staying in this city, with not knowing if you're going to be the next victim of a homicide or a car theft or getting your house broken into. We think if people leave because they don't want to deal with that they're weak. No, we're just gluttons for punishment. So many people in this city have just gotten used to abuse. It feels normal. So what do? You stay in the city that continues to abuse you. And then you want to call that strength. I don't like when people do that. They confuse their willingness to accept abuse and punishment as strength. No, strength is getting away from the abuse and the punishment. Y'all need me to say that again? It's not strong if you stay in the abuse and the punishment. It could be your relationship with a spouse or a partner. It could be your relationship with the municipality. Getting away takes strength. Staying and putting up with the abuse, that's the weakness. Let's talk to Al from Sherman Park. You're on the new 101.7 The Truth.
Hey, Sherwin. I just want to piggyback off of something Ms. Shack said about the leaders. But we choose our leaders or we vote for our leaders, but because they come to us selling something doesn't mean that we don't question what they're selling, asking, is this really good for us? Like, I've never thought it was a good reason to vote for someone just because they're black, right? Just like it's not a good thing to eat the same food every day because it tastes good. Like you eat fried chicken every day, it may taste good, but long term, your health will suffer. So we have to start questioning why is what this leader's selling? Why would it be good for me? Troubleshoot it, and then determine if you want to vote or follow that person, and not really blame that leader. You got to blame yourself for not investigating that leader before you said you were going to follow them.
Sometimes there's not a lot of choice, though, Al. When voters went to the polls last year to select who was going to fill out the rest of Tom Barrett's terms, you had two choices, Bob Donovan and Cavalier Johnson. So sometimes we don't get the ultimate choice in who is going to lead us and make policy decisions on our behalf. That's number one. Number two, leaders are chosen. I'm talking about elected leaders now, are chosen by voters, not chosen by people. Now, most people don't vote. So the leadership we have were chosen by voters, and voters, more often than not, are doing okay. They've got jobs. They've got a decent level of education. They've got a little bit of money. So the leadership is going to be always, always, always reflective of the voters, not necessarily reflective of the people. So if we think that the voters are going to choose somebody that's going to accurately represent everybody, including non-voters, then we are disillusioned about democracy. Those leaders have an obligation to the people that actually voted for them. And more often than not, their lifestyles are a lot better than other people.
So let's go back to the example of Chevy versus Bob Donovan. And those people were running for leadership positions, and they both had a track record. But we didn't look at their track record, did we, and say, well, what did Chevy do with his district? How did it turn out well for the people there versus what did Bob Donovan do for his district, and how did that turn out well for the people there? I don't think we made that comparison. I think we saw Chevy as black, and therefore we thought because he was black, it was going to be good for black people.
Or did we see that Bob Donovan has been a devout racist? Maybe that probably had something to do with it. He has made his comments known how he feels about black people and the black community. And even when we came up with ideas of what we could do with youth 20-some years ago, when there's no baseball games at then Miller Park, we would have little youth events in that big old empty parking lot. He was like, I don't want y'all kids in my neighborhood. That probably has more to do with why, because we didn't need, regardless of what Bob Donovan did for his district, we didn't need someone who's going to continue to promote segregation and racism in the city of Milwaukee. So the standard was very, very low. There was also this other little thing that Bob Donovan did that when I talked about it, even though it was a factual thing that he even admitted to when I brought that up, people didn't really like that either. That he got caught in a men's bathroom at a public university doing things that, let's just say, were below board. He got caught in his secret life out in public, paid a ticket for it, admitted to doing it. And so people didn't really like that either.
Okay. Well, but he's promoted. I mean, he makes less money, but he's in a different role making decisions for the city of Milwaukee at the legislature.
He is one of 132 people where he used to be one of 15. His influence is less now.
But when it comes to the budget and the revenue sharing, his voice is there amongst that majority over there. But anyway, it is up to us to vote for our leaders and determine who we'll follow. We just have to question more. That was just the point.
All right, fair enough.
Trying to make it. Okay,
thank you, Al. Appreciate you. And we got the other Al who's on hold. Let me also say this, and I got to say this every so often because I think we forget. So we put a lot of faith, a lot of stock in black leadership. Like, oh, we vote for a black person, they're supposed to fix everything for all the black people. And I think we still have a Martin Luther King mentality, like we elect a savior or we select a savior, and they're supposed to like clear all the obstacles for us and make our lives easier. And when it comes down to it, I think a lot of people, just as individuals, regardless of who your selected or elected leaders are, y'all just make bad decisions. Like, there's no leader that's going to stop you from making bad decisions. So we got to take some level of personal responsibility. I know people don't like that term because you have to be responsible for your person. It's kind of a tough pill to swallow. But you got to remember something, y'all. If black people, black leaders, black elected leaders, because y'all like to pick on them, if they could fix everything for black people, don't you think they would do it? Why all of a sudden when we get black folks in leadership roles, you get a black county executive, you get a black mayor, we had a black lieutenant governor, remember him? You got a black member of Congress. Where's some other black folks? Oh, you got a black police chief, you got a black lady sheriff. Y'all think the white racism goes away because we have a bunch of black leaders around? Do you think the white racism gets soft? Do you think it lets up? Do you think that white folks who want to maintain everything for them and their children are going to say, well, there is a black mayor now. There's a black police chief and a black sheriff. Maybe we should just let these blacks have all the fairness and equality they've been screaming about. Incorrect. White racism doubles down, and it doubles down with institutions of power that make us, get this now, this is deep psychology, they make us question and hate our own black leaders because they, white folks and white power and white supremacy, has more power than all the black elected officials combined. So what do? We look out the window and see the neighborhood ain't changing. We see we have black leadership. We just blame the black leaders. We think that racism seems to go away when you get a black person in the sheriff's office or a black person as mayor. No, racism gets stronger. And the most sinister thing about racism is it will make you hate your own people. I just want you to be aware of that. Now I'm going to take a break. I'm going to come back. I'm going to talk to Al. I said there was other stories I wanted to talk about, and y'all let the show get away from me. Rhea, don't shake your head at me. Don't you shake your head. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 1017 The Truth's Sherwin Hughes, and I am Milwaukee. This show has meant so much to me because it's an opportunity for me to express my thoughts and my feelings to my community, and for my community to express those same thoughts and feelings right back to me. Milwaukee means a lot to me. I was born here, raised here, educated here, and I'm committed to making this a better city. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the new 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee, Black Talk.
Tune in to the new 1017 The Truth Community Spotlight this Wednesday at 3:57 p.m. between The Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. We will be speaking with Mason Johnson, a soon-to-be graduate and student-athlete at MATC, and Courtney Kelly, Special Projects Coordinator in Recruitment for MATC. They both will discuss the incredible opportunities students have at MATC. So again, that is a Community Spotlight with MATC this Wednesday at 3:57 p.m. on the new 1017 The Truth.
This is your Financial Empowerment Minute on the new 1017 The Truth, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
Because I got people who want to live off of $10,000 a month. And then I got people who say 4 is enough, right? Whatever it is, we want to make sure that, again, you have a plan and you know what it's going to take to get there. What resources do you have? Is it a 401k? Do you have a pension? Do you have, stocks or, outside money? How are we going to fund it? Right? Because that's a big thing too. A lot of people think, okay, well, I'm just going to dump money into my 401k and build it as long as I can, and then I'll be set. But taking money out and distributing it the right way is 10 times more important than accumulating it. Because you got to think about the taxes. You got to think about a lot of other things.
Tune into The Truth every month for our financial empowerment interviews with Northwestern Mutual.
When it comes to riding the bus, there's a better way to pay. It's Wisco, Milwaukee County Transit System's new modern fare collection system. Wisco is available as a card and in the UMO app, and is packed with features to make paying for your rides faster, easier, more reliable, and more affordable. So make the switch to Wisco and start enjoying the better way to pay. Learn more about the exciting changes at ridemcts.com/Wisco or download the UMO app.
On the Rocks Premium Cocktails offer modern twists on the classic cocktails. Developed by award-winning mixologists, the On the Rocks cocktails combine premium spirits and natural ingredients. Wherever you are, On the Rocks Premium Cocktails give you the convenience of bar-quality cocktails created with brands that you know and trust, like the Effin' Cosmopolitan and Hornitos Margarita. Pour over ice and enjoy. Please drink responsibly. On the Rocks ready-to-serve cocktails, 20 to 35% alcohol by volume.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune into The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris all week as we feature National Law Enforcement Week. Dr. Ken will speak with Black law enforcement about the challenges they face in their careers and the impact they desire to have on our community. So join us all week long to gain a deeper understanding of the crucial work they do by tuning into The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris for Law Enforcement Week on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. And tune into this program, The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, for my financial empowerment interview with Northwestern Mutual. On Friday, Erica and JB Bell will be here, and they're going to break down the first steps you can take to start investing in your financial future. If you got questions, you can get answers at 833-212-1017. That's this Friday at 11 a.m. on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, my financial empowerment interviews with Northwestern Mutual. All right, let's talk to Al. But boy, I got some doozy of text messages that I got to read. Y'all thought these calls was wild today. Text messages go even further. Let's talk to Al. You're on the new 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm just going to say, let's get down and dirty and pop that cap on this black velvet.
Hold on, Al. Wait. Before you make me nervous when you say get down and dirty. Don't get very dirty, please.
Well, I'm pretty sure you already got a text coming in from somebody from talking from Mick Shack, because every time somebody say something, I think they probably ain't getting none, and they probably got a set of blue balls, because anytime somebody say something to something that's a human desire, you always get that one text. First thing I wanted to say is we as black people, a lot of black people don't want change, not unless it's controlled and ran by white people. I hear it on your radio station a lot. A lot of black people value disrespect from the people they want approval from. When these Republicans say what they want from their heart, black people continue to call them by their first and last name. Somebody like me and you, we every SOB, N-word, MF in the book, just like with Will Smith. They call them every name in the book. Republicans, they call them by their first and last name. A lot of black people have been programmed and conditioned with that slave and defeat mentality. Prime example, you tell black people our vote is powerful. Some people say, well, we only 13%. But 13% doesn't mean 13 people. 13% is millions across the United States. And if you get a lot of allies, that 13% can do damage. The other thing you brought up when you say, well, sometimes we get mad at leaders, one of the biggest things with black folks, we don't back trailblazers and hellraisers, okay? Black people are just not going to do that, because a lot of black people are jaded, bitter, and they own something personal. Prime example, everybody was talking about, the lieutenant governor. This is the same lieutenant governor who didn't reach out to black people until he was up to his nose in piss. If he wasn't up into nose in piss, he wouldn't came crying for your help and your vote. We already know that. We don't got to sugarcoat it. Cavalier Johnson. Now, y'all know deep down in your heart he's not for blacks, okay? He ain't never been for blacks. He's always been for the whites. But for some reason, we don't want to say it. Now, when Lena Taylor ran, and this was told to me by a lot of my black folks, a lot of them didn't want to vote for her because she had a strong personality. But those were the same ones who would sit up in church every day, crying and paying their 10%, thinking somebody from the cops, somebody from heaven gonna come down here and change bills and laws, not knowing when y'all get up to heaven, you scrubbing streets and cleaning masters' toilets. And then last but not least, we like to cherry pick. We don't want to call it like we see it. We always want to cherry pick, but never get to the root of the problem. So when it comes to why we're not moving forward, it's because part of it is us. Because if we got down and dirty like we do with each other, the same with these Republicans, we can get some change. Now, you know what's going on here. It's two things to get people to act right. Violence and you holding your money. A lot of black people don't want to hold their money. They want to give their money. They want to prove they ain't broke to the people who don't like them. And last but not least, another thing that hold us back is that so-called Bible, because it got people programmed and they obedient in their mind so they can't think. That's why I always tell people, take away the religion so you can know your true strength. And these Republicans know that. These people in Milwaukee know that, because all they got to do is just give black people 1%, they got something in common, and they going to show every tooth in their mouth. And that's why we're not moving forward. If we took the same infantile issues that we use against each other and use against these Republicans, we could be able to push forward. But then again, we only stand behind people who looks good in the eyes of Christ. Some of you listeners know it. Y'all sitting here probably cussing me out. I don't care. You can put your lips on a fire mule. You can lick them if you want to. I don't care. But it's the truth. It's the truth. Think about it. Look at all the people they put up in there. What have they done? What have they done? And they knew from the beginning these people was no good. But then the people who pass bills, pass laws, people who know they craft, black people don't want to back them, because they're bitter, they're jaded, and they own something personal. And 9 out of 10, the reason why they don't like each other, because it's something that's stupid. Your hair might be too long. Somebody probably upgraded from a Cadillac and got a Benz. The other person probably still got a Cadillac with a blown suspension, a service soon light on, and an electrical problem. But if we want to change it, it got to start with us. But until we get rid of all this other stuff, ain't nothing going to change. It starts with us. And that's why Milwaukee is the number one segregated place in the nation. The other thing I was going to tell you is a lot of people don't want to vote. But when it's time to get them resources, They're the first one in the line. And I always also want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I know a lot of y'all hate my voice. Matter of fact, I hope you drink a whole bottle of Tonka gin and go put your mouth on something. Hate that. Have a good day.
Thank you. Wow. People at the 3rd Street Market Hall really like that commentary. Oh, full crowd of people. They're cheering. Rock says, preach, Al. Tell the truth. 414-875 said, the real question is, why doesn't Sherwin have any callers under the age of 50? Maybe young people don't care or are busy working. The show was turning into Ask Your Neighbor with Gordon Hinckley. Well, I think Al is under 50. A lot of my under 50 people are texters. They don't call. And then 414-875 goes on to say, Miss Shack should be put on trial like Al, talking about vitamin D and sugar walls. Sherwin's best shows are the ones that go below the waist. Just saying. That's not me. I'm very clean. I don't talk about naughty stuff below the belt. I don't be doing that because y'all the ones that be nasty. All these fast ass women out here, all these mannish men, y'all so mannish. Take a break, come back. I'm gonna try and right this ship and make the last 20 or 30 minutes of this show, something that is respectable. We'll try that. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back shortly.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Home practice is about to begin. Your daughter's new tap shoes? Loud. Your son's new tuba? Louder. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft grace zone. So if you lose track of expenses buying some noise-canceling and sanity-saving headphones, we've got your back. You got this with $50 overdraft grace zone from Associated Bank. See AssociatedBank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for a job? Then Greater Milwaukee Urban League is the place to be. Join them on Wednesday, May 17th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for their Working Wednesday job fair featuring jobs from some of Milwaukee's biggest manufacturers. Find out about available jobs for assembly line workers, machine operators, general laborers, warehouse and landscapers, plus get training information on other jobs including carpentry, highway maintenance, and other positions. Get more information at tmul.org and join them on Wednesday, May 17th at GMUL's main office at 435 West North Avenue.
Carrie, where's Tori Lowe and Dr. Ken at? I'm trying to knock these commercials out.
How am I supposed to know, Sherwin?
Well, I'm about to do their parts because my impressions are on point anyway. This is Dr. Ken Harris from Truth in the Afternoon, and I want you to download the Truth app in the Google Play Store and Apple Store so you can never miss my show or any of the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Really, Kyle?
Sherwin, you are crazy.
Sherwin, your impression of me is horrible. Move. Give me my mic. I guess I'll just repeat what Sherwin said. Go to the Google Play Store or Apple Store to download the 1017 The Truth app today so you can take the home of Milwaukee Black Talk with you wherever you are.
Can't listen live? Download the new 1017 The Truth app on your smartphone today to catch up on all your favorite shows. Search 1017 The Truth on your Google Play Store or Apple App Store so you don't miss out on any of the action.
What is dedication?
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that my kids wouldn't have a father. I overdosed on heroin and I lived. And I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. My desire to change had finally outweighed my desire to stay the same. I felt powerless for so much of my life. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it. I definitely had to become a better man to be a better father. For the first time, I finally feel like I'm exactly where I should be, where I want to be.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune into The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris all week as we feature National Law Enforcement Week. I already read that, Rhea. But tune in anyway to Dr. Ken Harris. Oh, I got one for you. Did you guys know that many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you were paying for rent? In fact, the average family that's helped by Axe Housing pays about $800 a month for their mortgage. In fact, an Axe Housing coach will help you put together a plan and a budget. They can even help you get more money for down payment assistance. If you click on the Truth link at axehousing.org, that's ACTS housing.org, you can get started on a virtual orientation. That's axehousing.org. And lastly, Axe is in need of hiring general contractors. If you're a general contractor, get in touch with Axe today because they need to hire 100 additional contractors by the end of the year. All right. Rhea, I think I'm done with those. Oh, no, I got one more. I'll read it later. All right, listen. Y'all need to calm down today. Vince says, come on, Sherwin, he's getting too much airtime. I switched over to my playlist and turned back after the song went off and No Solutions Al was still talking. So thank you, Vince. But Vince is just not a fan of Al. There's a couple people out there that don't like Al. But overwhelmingly, if y'all could see my text messaging app that I have here in the studio. In fact, you know what? Is it possible? Can I turn this screen around so people on the YouTube can see it? No, they can't see. I can't turn it around. But it's just filled up with text messages, most of which are in support of Al. 414-678 says Al is funny, fascinating, and unfiltered. Let's put a face on Al's voice. So Al has been on The Man Show on WNOV, and they broadcast live on Facebook. So a lot of y'all have seen what Al looks like. Let's put it this way. He does not look at all like he sounds. I have a visual representation of Al in my head until I saw him. I was like, oh, that's Al? And I didn't even know it was him until I heard him talk on The Man Show. Had no clue. In fact, if you saw Al out in public and if you didn't hear his voice and his tone, you would have no idea. You'd have no idea it was him. I actually think, like, Al goes to community events. Like, we're going to be doing a bunch of stuff this summer. We're going to be out in the community a lot. We're going to be doing a bunch of different events. We're going to do Washington Park Wednesdays. We're going to do a whole bunch of stuff. I think Al actually shows up to our community events. He just doesn't talk. He just keeps to himself. Sir Chauncey says, black people don't like to hold their money because they like to prove to the black people that they don't like. That's a valid point. And the people don't like Al do need to chuck down a bottle of Black Label. 414788 says, LOL, I'm definitely under 50. The texters, I believe, are the youth movement on this show. The callers, oh, Al is under 50. Miss Shack, she's over 50. Who else? Al from Sherman Park, over 50. What's the guy's name? John, is it John? Who's like 88 years old. He said he was going to run for office a couple of months ago. He never did. A lot of the callers are older. 414350 simply says, I love Al. Dion, the non-voter, says, oh, talking about Nitty. So Nitty was never charged in those allegations. And I got no comment on it. But to bring up someone's arrest record, because they did that to another good friend of mine. Like, somebody got, not even arrested, this friend of mine got questioned by the police. He willingly went in and answered questions, and that got leaked. And it made the newspaper that so-and-so, a prominent person in our city, got questioned by the police, and they used it to defame that man's name. And I hate when they do that. You know what we should do? We should put in the paper every time a white person goes and talks to the cops, every time a white person gets arrested and is not charged. See, they don't do that. That's the problem that I have. Black media has to be independent. It's got to think differently. Black media should not primarily exist to defame black people because that's low common denominator stuff, and plus that's really easy. So they say some mess about me that ain't true. Y'all gonna believe it? You know what? I don't care what y'all believe. Dion says, Al sounds like an old woman who smokes Virginia Slims and drinks old granddaddy whiskey. Now you're just being petty, Dion. But Al votes and you don't. So there's that. Miss Shack says, Sherwin, you on a mad roll this morning. Thank you. I'm learning about our people's political psyche. 808s and Heartbreak says, oh, this is going to be a doozy. Miss Shack is a succubus. Salute. The Diggable chick got a boom bap. Talking about Ladybug from the Diggable Planets. Soros gave Black Lives Matter $750 million. Black Lives Matter is a pyramid scam. Or are you just salty that George Soros didn't give you a cent? Y'all got to chill with that. I've heard people go in on Black Lives Matter. Most people that get mad at whatever money Black Lives Matter raised are mad that they didn't get anything. So here's the thing about some people that I got to be careful with this. They do good work, right? And they say they do it because they love the work and they love to help people. They love to work in the community. Like it gives them passion, or if they're passionate about it, it gives them great joy. It makes them feel fulfilled. Because I think everyone should have an endeavor that makes you feel accomplished, right? And it's a thankless job. Sometimes thankless jobs. You do it for how it makes you feel, okay? And then you're doing this work and you're helping people and you get to see the smile on people's faces when you help them, and you get to see the smile on the children's faces when you're doing wonderful things, and people know you by name and you get celebrated when you're walking around through the community. That should be reward enough. But here's where it's like ironic and duplicitous, and they have a lot of double speak. So they'll see somebody else doing the same work and probably not even the same quality of community work that they're doing, but then they see that other person getting paid or getting a grant or starting a nonprofit, or they are monetizing their community work, and the people who aren't getting money, they hate on them. But wait, I thought you were doing the work because you loved it, and you loved the smile on people's faces, and you loved to help the children, and it was thankless work, and it makes you feel really good because you were doing something that makes you feel fulfilled. But as soon as you see somebody else getting money, they have a fit. And that's a lot of what this is. They say that they're doing the work for the best of intentions, or they have like religious reasons, like, oh, I'm doing God's work, they'll say. I don't need no money, until they see somebody else get some. And that's what happened with Black Lives Matter. You got people who've been out here, I've been doing the work of Black Lives Matter for all these years, but I didn't get no money. Because you ain't doing the work for the love, you're doing it for the money. And some people will put on a front. They pretend to be out there because they love the people. They only love the people to the extent that they get paid. Like, money screws our community up. It really does. It divides people. Because you shouldn't be mad if somebody else is making a living. Because here's the thing about community work, and there's so many different types of it. Let me be clear. You need to get paid for your time. Why black folks are so content with financial suffering is beyond me. We think that if we get paid for our time, that we're selling out. No. Your time is worth money. And if you're doing things that help people, that improve conditions, then you should get more money. Why should you have to starve and help everybody else? Why are we okay with that attitude? Like, that burns me up, because then, like, we bash people that get a promotion, that get a job, and that make money. Like, we make them seem like they're not authentic. They're not authentic to what? Why do we as black folks, riddle me this, bat men and bat women, why do black folks equate authenticity with being broke? Why do we do that? Another thing that we do is we try and gauge blackness. Like, if somebody is not hood, oh, you ain't real. If you ain't from the block, if you ain't acting the way the people on the block act, like, we take away their authenticity if they don't act in a stereotypical way. I hate that. We get mad when somebody makes money because we want to associate blackness with suffering and poverty. No, I want to associate blackness with wealth and money and investments and property. That's what I want to associate blackness with. But no, not us. No. You got to be broke. Can't take any money. Otherwise, you're not authentic. So if you make money doing what you love to do and you're helping people at the same time, please explain to me how that's a bad thing. That's why some of these people that, do the work that they do, they don't take any money for it. God bless them. But then they got to end up selling dope to make ends meet because they want to stay authentic in their public life, that they're helping people and they're out there fighting for folks, not making any money doing that. Then they get caught selling heroin. Now they go to prison. Aren't we better off being okay with people that are working toward a better community getting paid for it? Y'all, no one should work for free. When you go to the store, okay, and I'm going to say this and I got to take a break, otherwise I'll keep going. When you go to the store to get you some groceries, okay, and you get your little groceries, $200 on groceries, that ain't nothing nowadays. Can you get up to the cashier and be like, hi, I do community work, so can I just get these for free? Because I do a lot of work that I don't get paid for. They're going to look at you like you're crazy, and if you try and take those groceries, they're going to call the police on you. Right? You still have costs. You still got to pay rent. You still got to pay mortgage. Got to pay child support. Got to pay for clothes and everything else. You deserve to get paid, y'all. And so we got to stop looking at folks crazy if they make money from doing things that actually help other people, right? Okay. Make some money. It's okay. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
What's up, Truth Nation? It's your girl, Carrie Noni here to officially announce my new role at The Truth as digital content journalist. I am so excited for this role because I'll be creating content centered around everything Milwaukee, the real Milwaukee, such as our events, our businesses, our people, and their stories that don't usually get to be told or recognized. So make sure you're following 1017 The Truth on all of our social media as I take you on the journey of discovering more about the pieces that make up the core of this beautiful city.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Dr. Ken Harris with his truth.
A recent survey question at work asked, who's your best friend at work? My reply, no one. It came to me, I've never had a best friend. I remember I had a best friend, but I wasn't his best friend. I initiate hanging out today, doing the bro thing. I don't get calls like, hey, let's go hang out. Let's go do stuff. And don't start calling me because you feel sorry for me. I'm not a crybaby snowflake. I'm content hanging out by myself. I grew up behind in 4 important statistics: education, income, investments, home ownership. Not seeing these things in my life. I grew up poor. Today, I'm a step ahead of many of my peers, and that's where the road forks and the clock started. See, I set people and organizations on a clock. When the buzzer rings, I'm tapping out. I don't waste good things, education, income, intellect, wisdom, advice on people who won't appreciate them. Matthew 7:6 warns us to give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you. Life made me tough. I've heard people say he doesn't have feelings. I do. I learned not to share them because I'm making sure my life doesn't end up like everybody else's, trampled underfoot.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The Black-owned business Give Back is back. We have again teamed up with Associated Bank so we can help local black businesses grow and succeed. 1017 The Truth will be giving away $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising to 5 black businesses this year. To sign up for this opportunity, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That is blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official contest rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC. Speaking of black businesses, here's what I want y'all to do. I want you to go see my mans in them. Go see Jamil Trotter. They call him Trot at Scene One. It is a beautiful black-owned restaurant lounge. It's beautifully appointed. It's comfortable. The people are wonderful. The staff is friendly. The food is good. It's called Scene One. It's right there on 55th and North Avenue. It's like 5526. Go check out Scene One. We got to support Scene One. We need places like that to stay open and provide an entertainment venue for us that's not downtown. It's right there in the neighborhood. In fact, I stayed in the neighborhood all last weekend. Well, Saturday night we went to Ward's to eat. But Friday and then later on Saturday evening, so Friday I was at Scene One kicking it with Trot. In fact, Trotter is a frat brother of Dr. Ken Harris and Jason Fields and all the alphas. So go check out Scene One. Tell them I sent you now. But like, oh, Sherwin sent me here to come kick it, get you some food, get you some drink. So we went to, it was Friday, I was at Scene One, had a wonderful time. I'll probably be back. That might be my Friday happy hour spot. So if y'all want to come kick it, come see your boy at Scene One when you get off of work. And then we went to the North Avenue Market, which is on 59th and North Avenue. So it's basically a scaled down version of the 3rd Street Market Hall. It used to be a bank. It used to be an Associated Bank branch, and they gutted the whole thing, and they got black-owned businesses, shops, and stores. In fact, the black-owned hot dog joint, Dog City, that we have here, they actually have one in the North Avenue Market. And guess who I seen at the North Avenue Market Friday night? Christopher's Project, playing live music and singing and doing all the jazz stuff. So we got stuff right in the neighborhood. I just wish the North Avenue Market would advertise, because people don't even know that they're there. They don't advertise at all. So if you don't live in a neighborhood and if you don't drive past, you wouldn't even know it's there. And I want that place to succeed as well. So they got little restaurants and stuff. Then they got meeting rooms and conference rooms that you can just go chill out at if you want to work. So those of you that have the option to work at home and you want to get out the house, you can go to the North Avenue Market Hall on 59th and North, and they got live entertainment in there and a bunch of different coffee shops, little restaurants, sandwich shops, most of which are black owned or at least minority owned or woman owned. Got 2 levels to it. Got the first floor level where they have this like a little speakeasy type bar. This is at the North Avenue Market on 5900 West North Avenue. They took the old bank vault, because they used to be a bank branch, and they turned it into like a little cozy, little speakeasy type little lounge area. It's small. It's intimate now. It ain't huge, but they took the bank vault and they converted it into a little speakeasy. It's called Mosler's Vault. That's where you go if you want to be all romantic, if you're trying to sweep somebody off their feet. Now, you used to have to go online and reserve a table at Mosler's Vault. Not sure if you still have to reserve it, but if you go to the North Avenue Market, and you should go downstairs. It's on the bottom floor, the ground floor, and check it out. But I really want y'all to go to Scene One. You tell them I sent you. Now, look here, Trot, if you listening, and my listeners and my people go check you out, you better be good to my people now. All right, then. So, yeah, check out Scene One, 5526 West North Avenue, and then also the North Avenue Market at 5900. I want to keep stuff like that open in the neighborhood because I'll be honest with you, I get tired of coming downtown because I work downtown. I don't want to have to come back down here on my weekends for my entertainment. I want to stay in the neighborhood. Plus, it's a cheaper Uber ride. Sir Chauncey says, it's almost a 25-to-1 ratio of the people who love Al and appreciate Al as opposed to that of the haters. Al is back, and that's a matter of fact. And rat-a-tat-tat, go get your caps peeled back to all those who don't like him. Rock says, I'll take an intelligent gay black man like Al over a judgmental ex-criminal who always has an opinion but doesn't vote like Dion any day. Whoa! Oh, Dion, somebody clap back at you. E from Milwaukee says, hi, Sherwin. Love North Avenue Market. I had my birthday party there a couple of weeks ago. It was lovely. Bitter Cube drinks are delicious, and the food from the Dog House, pulled pork nachos were incredible. You know what else they have at the Dog House at the North Avenue Market? On Friday, they do a fish fry. I got 37 pieces of catfish and some French fries. It was a whole big, because I saw everybody was getting catfish dinners while we was listening to Christopher's project. I said, where y'all getting this damn catfish from? The Dog House at the North Avenue Market on Fridays. I don't know if they do it every Friday, but I got 78 pieces of catfish. Me and my girl went home with the itis, eating all that damn catfish. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to get to all of the text messages, but thank you guys. This show has been very interesting and quite interactive. And tomorrow I talk about all the topics I didn't get to today. I'll see you next time.
Tune in to the award-winning 1017 The Truth this Saturday at 11 for another episode of Greater Milwaukee Urban League's Entrepreneurship Connection show powered by Molson Coors. I'll be joined by representatives from the African